Hi, I'm Naz Rahman. In 2017, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival was officially launched in Malaysia with its first Vios one-make race in Batu Kawan. Since then, from Penang to Johor to Kuala Lumpur, the TGR Festival has successfully grown its one-make racing series, the Vios Challenge, from season to season, making a huge presence and bringing significant impact to Malaysian motorsports.
When we first brought the Gazoo Racing brand to Malaysia, no one would have thought that motor racing would be able to spin off so many opportunities. But more importantly, the brand has made a positive and impactful contribution to our society and the sport.
The Gazoo Racing brand has grown exponentially with the introduction of the GR Supra, the GR Yaris and the Malaysian-built GR Sports Vios, a tribute to the Vios Challenge race cars.
Toyota Gazoo Racing globally started with the intention to develop ever better cars and ever better people through motorsports activities. Here in Malaysia, I saw an opportunity for us to push the limit of our product and people. This has elevated the brand image of the Toyota Malaysia into one that is dynamic, sporty, and exciting. For this reason, I got behind the wheel to champion the initiative here in Malaysia through the Vios Challenge. Today, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival has grown into one of the most exciting motorsports events. In 5 years, the Gazoo Racing brand has made an impactful presence in Malaysia, and we intend to continue this pursuit.
This year, we welcome Season 5, and in this season, we shall feature 6 races, with the very first one kicking off in March. New to this year's racing calendar is the Vios Sprint Cup, 2 rounds happening at the Malaysian Championship Series. Gazoo Racing will also further punctuate its presence by participating in the Sepang 1,000km endurance race in November this year. TGR Season 5 will welcome back our 4 racing classes. The promotional class will feature your favourite Malaysian celebrities. The super sporting class will feature elite and professional drivers, while the sporting class will feature gentlemen and amateur drivers. And the crowd favourite, ladies and gentlemen, the rookie class, featuring some of the most finest talented drivers Malaysian motorsports has to offer. Gazoo Racing will also continue its Young Talent Development Program to provide young drivers an impactful and affordable platform for them to transition into saloon car racing here in Malaysia. This season, Gazoo Racing will be introducing new GR and GR Sports models and are already underway to expand the Gazoo Racing Garage network nationwide.
It has been exciting to witness what Gazoo Racing Malaysia has accomplished over recent years. The bar has been set very high, and I'm excited to continue this legacy of excellence. I'm thrilled to chart a way forward for Gazoo Racing to continue to make an impactful contribution to Malaysia. With new GR vehicles, the assembly of additional GR Sport vehicles, and the expansion of the GR garage engagements through even more GR parts and accessories and new GR merchandises.
Indeed, be prepared for Season 5 Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. It's going to be the biggest racing season yet.
Thank you, racers, teams, and dealers who made it possible to have Gazoo Racing here in Malaysia. Special thanks to our sponsors and business partners for your strong support, your trust, and your belief in the brand throughout this journey. You made this possible.
It has been a huge honor for me to see both the Toyota and the Toyota Gazoo Racing brand evolve. With the foundation that we have firmly put in place, I'm very confident that Gazoo Racing brand will soar to even greater heights in Malaysia. And now, it has come to the end of my journey here in Malaysia. I bid you farewell for now, but never goodbye. Onwards with Season 5. Ganbatte!
We will continue to strive for excellence and bring forth the way through Gazoo Racing. Together, we shall shape a more exciting future. See you at Season 5.
I want Gazoo Racing to grow even more in coming years. See you at Season 5.
It's been an absolute honor to be your host for the past 4 years. Season 5 is definitely going to be a blast. We'll see you online. We'll see you on track. This is Season 5 of Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival, Malaysia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5. And this is round the grand finale. You're alongside with me, Matthews Isaac. And over here, it's Victor Cass, will be official commentators of the day. So it's going to be the final race as we talked about. But today is going to be more of a qualifying session where we can see from all the different categories or class of races that will be released up very, very soon. And let's not forget, our program today is absolutely brought to you by UMW Toyota, alongside with Toyota Capital Malaysia, Denso, Modelista, Drive M7, and last but not least, it's going to be Moti. So what a fantastic day we're having. So man, I'm really pumped up for our qualifying. We are not in the race yet, but even the qualifyings are going to be a little bit catchy to watch. Who's going to be finishing on a better position today?
That's right, exactly. That's what everyone's going to be looking forward to here today. The grid positions coming into the final race. And I got to say, you know, having done all the races throughout the season, this is going to be where it all comes to a head. I mean, last race of the season is going to be a night race. You can see how beautiful the Sepang International Circuit looks like under the floodlights, and I can't wait for the action to begin here. So what are you going to be having coming into here today? I mean, the excitement is certainly permeating the air, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really looking forward to a night race, of course, today, man, as we know that everything is going to be dark. Only the atmosphere, but the track is going to be fully lighted up with lights, of course. So one thing for sure is that the night race is going to be absolutely insane, because throughout the other races that we had in round 2, round 1, it was all on the dry, sunny weather. Of course, we had rainy season and rainy days and stuff, but today it's going to be a total different ball of game. But one thing for sure is that the championship points there, Victor. So talking about the championship point, can you walk us through about how things have been going so far? But before that, let's have a look on the races. So the races there for today, where we have Freddie Ang, Eddie Liu, Muhammad Farik, Tengku Zhan, and the rest of the other packs. Of course, Michelle Chia looks like a promising one who's already in the top. Alistair Young, Mark Darwin, Hayden Haikal, Clement Yeo. Man, that is for the sporting class.
Yeah.
So here we go.
And when it comes to super sporting class, you got such standouts like Ken Fu, Tom Goh, Bradley Benedict, Nakib Aslan, the rookie, coming in, shooting himself up to the top here of the leaderboard. But we also got several hopefuls as well coming through into the sporting class. You expect it's going to be a very, very competitive class here. But of course, not to forget our Toyota Gazoo Racing rookies. 5 of them are going to be racing here tonight, and they're hoping to get some good results here to add to their tally. And last but not least, let's also celebrate our celebrities who will be racing for the final time this season here and this night race. And boy, they're all really, really excited coming in today, because, you know, it's the final race of the season. You know, it's going to be the last chance for them to get in these cars, to get to grips with the competition, and also the last chance for them to really put some points up on the board.
Absolutely. So we were just about to talk about the championship points, but then our screen got cut off there to show us who are the racers that will be handling themselves on the track for sure. But man, talking about the championship point, we go again. So what do we have today, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, this is the point system that we've been running. It's been the same point system that we've been running throughout the entire season, and this race is no different. First place, of course, is going to go home with the bulk of the points at 20. Second place gets 15 points. So it's a 5-point split between first and second. Third place will be coming in 12th place, so that will have a 3-point split. So you can see that the higher you finish, the more points you're going to be able to get. But even if you do end up in the 10th position, you still at least earn 1 point. So every single position does matter, and that's why the qualifying sessions like these are so important, because if you can already put yourself in a decent grip position, it's going to enhance your chances of getting some points during the race.
Yeah, so the races, make sure you get on the proper position, especially the top 10. So there we go, a look on our Sepang International Circuit. We're going to be using the North track, so usually public calls it half track. So there you go, we have a total of 9 turns, and of course there's lots of drama can happen even though it's just the half track, or even the North track you can call it. But make sure to like and also share this live stream today, as we will be starting our qualifying sessions very, very shortly. And tomorrow, make sure to tune in for the grand finale, where we'll be starting our official race. And at the end of the race, we will be definitely seeing our special performance from K-Click, Dola, Ella, and also, last but not least, the TGR Celebrities, where they will be singing and also entertaining you, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go, a look on the track. So looking at how it is, pretty dark on the top, but it's still light up on the track. But Victor, talking about the differences compared to we racing on a dry, sunny weather and at the night weather, what's the difference that you can definitely tell the audience today?
Well, the main thing is going to be temperature. I mean, when you're racing in the daytime, you know, it's obviously going to be hot, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be very, very humid. Now, granted, it did rain earlier on today, so I'm expecting temperature is going to be actually relatively cool tonight, which would be good news for our drivers. You know, typically when they're driving out on track, they can be getting very, very hot inside the Vios cars. We can see on screen right now. This has been the same Vios challenge car that has been running throughout the all 5 seasons long, and today is no different. You can see that they've been outfitted with all the best possible parts here, courtesy of Toyota Gazoo Racing as well as MK, and they have certainly been using this car so well in this competition so far, and it served a lot of these guys very, very well. And given that, you know, it's all similar performances, all the cars are balanced in terms of their weight as well as the power, so you can expect the competition to be very, very tight, especially when you get up into the front.
Yeah, so that is a little recap on what are the speed of, I mean, we can say the weapon of choice that we are using. It's none other than our Toyota GR Vios, of course, but man, the suspensions and everything looking absolutely clear on the screen, where we know what are the specifications that will be used on this car. And of course, throughout the entire season, we had the same car, of course, but what's going to be making the difference today is the drivers there, Victor.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing that people always ask is that, why are you guys using all Vios? Why wouldn't you use like the Supra or the Yaris? But the thing is that, you know, it's always more fun driving a car like the Vios, which is, you know, just the right amount of power, and it still can hit a lot of speed. And, you know, it's really going to be up to the skill of the driver to extract the maximum performances out of these cars. Now, the thing is that all these cars are no slouches, because unlike the cars you find on the road, these have been heavily modified in order to suit the conditions out on track here. So you can see that the safety features such as the roll cage, the bucket seats, specialized wheels as well, and all of these combine together to make a supreme platform to allow our pro drivers to be able to extract the maximum performances out of the car.
Definitely. So we'll be going into our qualifying session very, very soon, and of course we're going to start off with the super sporting category first, followed up there by the rookie categories. So there you go, we're on board with Brendan Paul, of course, from the Royal 47, if I got that right. But man, it's going to be a long day of racing for him today, tomorrow, and also the next day. But any thoughts on him there, Victor?
Well, I mean, he has been absolutely killing it in the MFSF series. This year, he and Mitchell Chia actually got the overall champion in their class, and they're going to be certainly looking forward to using that as a jumping off point, you know, coming into this final race, because having the confidence of a recent championship win there certainly will give us a boost to the driver's own performance. And I'm going to be expecting a lot out of Brendan today, to be honest, because, you know, in past seasons of Toyota Gazoo Racing, he's been kind of up there, but not quite there yet. But then it feels like he's only on the verge of putting off some good performances. So I'm hoping that, especially given that Royal 47 is going to be one of the teams that doesn't have a partner car. So Brendan Paul is pretty much going to be alone on track. It's going to be very much reliant on him alone to be able to bring those performances. So it's a lot of pressure, to be fair. But Brendan, he's a veteran driver. He's been through these kind of situations before. He's won championships before. He knows exactly what it takes to be at the top. And I'm expecting to see him up on the top very, very soon.
Yeah, so that is what we can definitely expect from him. So I guess there's a little bit of a final talks and preparations from the rest of the other races. Of course, we have the crews, the pit crews, everyone all lined up today, as they will be going into the race very, very shortly. So talking about the rookies there, Victor, we had the super sporting, but how about the rookies? We have 5 races coming through, and the promising one. Any thoughts on them?
So here's the thing, like the rookies are going to be racing in the same category as the super sport out on track. Now the thing is that they're going to be racing in their own class, so they don't necessarily have to race against the super sporting guys. But then the most important thing for these rookies is to actually gain experiences, and having kind of like a single make series like the Vios Challenge actually provides a really good platform that allows them to learn a lot about what it's like to race against other drivers, you know, out on track. And the thing is that one thing that the rookies can certainly look forward to as inspiration is definitely going to be one of the graduates from the rookie class there, Nakib Azlan. Because Nakib, if you remember, he was formerly a TGR rookie, but then subsequently graduated to the sporting class, and then right now he's in the lead of the championship. So it can go to show that, you know, even if you're just starting out as a rookie, you're looking at the performances of young drivers like Nakib Noz Azlan, you know what the potential you have as a rookie. You can always, as long as you are super good, you're super fast and consistent, you can always find yourself competing against the very, very best. And certainly the rookies will be looking to try to emulate that sort of performance coming to this one. But nevertheless, though, it really depends a lot on how they actually perform on the track, because, you know, as they say in Formula 1, you're only as good as your last race. So this is going to be the last race of the season, so I'm certainly going to be hoping a lot from our rookies too.
Oh, vintage line over there, Victor. Vintage line. So I guess there you go. The safety car is out, and they will be having a final check before they go into the tracks and releasing the other races, of course. So earlier on, you saw the footage a little bit there, where we saw the performance of what will be happening tomorrow as well. The stage, everything is pretty much set up. So that will be for tomorrow. So make sure to tune in, and if you're free and stuff, make sure to come down here in Sepang International Circuit. So there you go, the safety car, where we will be seeing the rest of the marshals, the crews, all will be having a final check around the track, making sure everything is safe and sound for the rest of the races. So there you go. We talked about the super sporting. We also talked about the rookie sensations, of course. But then, Victor, how about for our sporting and promotional?
Yeah, I mean, with sporting class, obviously the biggest story is going to be about Nakib Azlan. He came in, graduated from the rookie class, and now it's literally competing with the very best in that class. And it's a very, very wide lead, actually, that he has ahead of Bradley Benedict, who is currently in second place. Just for reference, for you at home, Nakib Azlan currently has 68 total championship points after 2 rounds. Bradley Benedict Anthony currently has 52 points. So you can see that with a 16-point lead, it's going to take a lot, actually, to actually knock him off that point. But that certainly means that at the end of the season, this is going to be Nakib Azlan's championship to lose here. So I don't know, it's going to be a very interesting to see what Bradley Benedict as well as Abdul Mikhail are going to try to do this round, because obviously conditions on track are going to be very different. The experiences these drivers had over the season is certainly going to add to this final round here. And for Nakib as well, I mean, it's going to be a lot of pressure, especially for him. He's only 17 years old, already leading a very competitive championship here. So it's also going to be a test for himself personally of mental resilience, you know, if especially for someone so young to be under so much pressure there. It can be very easy for people to crack under that kind of situation. So for Nakib, you know, he just needs to be able to keep his head cool and realize that, you know, he has all the advantages of the world when it comes to this championship here. So let's see. I mean, we're still going to be in qualifying here. It's going to be all about what position they end up on the grid. And quite frankly, as long as he is still able to pull the same performances as he has done in the previous rounds, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see him up on the podium somewhere.
Absolutely. So there you go. I talk a little bit on the what's going to be happening on the sporting class. So if you're going to go into the promotional class, where we see this time Zizan Raza is still leading the race after round 1 and round 2. He was collecting 38 and also 28 points, and that makes up a total of 66 points. And he's on the top right now. And on P2, we will be having a look on Ahmad Nabil. And Nabil right now is on 57 points, Victor. So whoever making it into P1 and P2 will be a changing factor for tomorrow. But on P3, we will be having Shukriyaya, where he is on 44 points. And for P4, we will be seeing, we have Wani Hasrita on 36 points. So quite close, if you ask me, from the top 4 and also the rest. So let's see. Whoever makes it to the top 3 tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely vital. But today, all our focuses will be on the qualifying session. We'll be starting off from the super sporting and also rookies. So there you go, Victor. The safety car's out now.
Yeah, safety car is going to be taking a tour around the track to ensure that the all things are going to be ready for the race later on. It's also going to be a test of the track condition as well. I can see them slightly pushing it going into that first turn. But these are all kind of important procedures that race control has to do in order to ensure a safe and conducive environment for the qualifying session today. And it's also part of the procedure, the final checks, if you will, coming into the start of the session here today. So as soon as that safety car gives the all clear, you can be assured that the drivers will be raring to get themselves out on the track very, very soon as we see them come around this turn 4. So I had attended the driver briefing earlier today, and I have to say, the mood around the vibe is just super, super chill, which is kind of funny considering, how competitive things have been out on track. But given the vibe in the room during that briefing, you get a sense that, everyone is just here to have fun. Everyone's here to enjoy themselves coming to this final race, because literally it's the last race of the year here, the last opportunity for them to really experience wheel-to-wheel action. So it's really, I think, a lot of excitement in essence, but then still plenty of relaxed faces as well. So in the driver briefing as well, there's been a lot of emphasis kind of placed by the race control to clarify some of the rules, especially regarding track limits. It's been kind of a back and forth discussion between Tekujan and race control about what constitutes actually leaving the line or being off the track. And it's quite important because you commentate football as well. There's a big difference between having a ball on the line versus slightly off the line too. So this kind of controversies tend to be on the forefront discussion when it comes to these kind of briefings. But certainly I think everyone at this stage now is so familiar with this track. They already know what it kind of takes really to set good times here. And with the preparations that have been happening all throughout, it's going to be quite vital for these guys to take all of those learnings that they've taken all throughout the year and finally put it all into practice coming into this qualifying session.
Yeah, for sure there, Victor. So I guess the safety car is already back on the pit. So I guess let's check if there's going to be any changes later on. But one thing for sure, talking about what's been happening in the driver's briefing, I guess right now it's all about the racers playing their right cards, because we know this is the grand finale and they got to give their very best there, Victor. No more hanging on other rounds to back you up or anything. This is where you just go all out.
Yeah, and speaking about that all out, the typical thing, especially during the middle of the season, is that you don't necessarily want to wreck your car or rather cause too much of a headache for your pit garage, especially when you need to turn the car around for the next race or the next upcoming event. But given that this is the last race of the year, I'm expecting that things could get a little bit hectic out on track, because the thing is that they don't necessarily have to save whatever components on the car for the next season, because it's going to be a completely new car, completely new parts as well. So the thing is that coming into that will be coming into race number 2, but then particularly for race 1, when you're going to be looking to try to get the maximum amount of haul, especially for those guys who are really good on pace, who really know how to qualify very, very well. This is going to be important, because the higher up on the grid, the better the chances of actually being up in the top. So naturally, I'm expecting that first race things can be kind of chill a little bit. They're going to be testing a little bit of the waters, and especially those guys who are going to be looking forward to gaining more points in the next race. They will want to try to save the performance on the car a little bit. But then I expect that, especially for those guys who are super close in points, they're going to be going neck to neck. I don't think they're going to be leaving any room on the table, not even a little bit of performance. It's going to be all out, all balls to the wall kind of racing here, I'd expect. So I mean, those are the kind of things you can be excited all throughout the weekend, especially as far as the action is concerned. But I think that even for those who are going to be coming to Sepang International Circuit to witness a race, there's plenty of things for them to look forward to, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, Victor. So to you, for watching this live right now, make sure to come down here tomorrow as well. We have special performance coming from K-Click. We have Dola alongside with Ella, and last but not least, TGR Celebrities will be finishing the show in style. So make sure to come down here, and if you can't, make sure to tune in to our live stream that will be up and running almost the same time like today. So we will be expecting your arrival tomorrow as well for the official race number 1 and followed by race number 2 on the next day. So there you go. We are on board with the car number 22. And that's believed to be, I just saw, I just can't have a look on there. It's Young. I guess that is Alistair Young, if I got it, right?
Yes, that's
Alistair's
car.
Alistair Young, yeah.
Yeah, so Axel Motorsports, interestingly, for the super sporting class, has actually 3 cars in the championship. Now, granted, only Hayden Heikal, who is currently in the lead right now of the super sporting class, has the best chance of winning the championship outright. Alistair, unfortunately, having some incidences during the second round here, has unfortunately dropped himself all the way down to 8th position in the championship. So he's more likely going to be playing more of a supporting role coming into this race. And those kind of team play is going to be very important in this super sporting class because it's the only class where you have multiple cars from the same team. But Axel in particular, you know, out of all of the pit garages out here, I think a lot of attention has been placed on them specifically. No less because, you know, the owner of Axel Motorsport is Alex Young himself, and naturally a lot of other teams are just looking at that team going like, yeah, I want to be able to beat the team being run by Alex Young right now. So there's certainly a lot of pressure being placed on the shoulders of Hayden, Alistair, as well as Boy Wong, because, you know, a lot of guys out on track are literally gunning for their positions, and that's certainly led to quite a few incidences as well, particularly with Alistair. But nevertheless, though, with Hayden Heikal being up on the top of the board right now, it's going to be very vital for the team game to really work out well for Axel Motorsports today, and that really starts if that can only start if all of the Axel Racing team members are able to qualify quite high up, because if anyone kind of drops far off the grid there, it's going to be very hard to be able to support Hayden Heikal in his championship chase, and that could become a big issue, especially coming into race number 2, where it's going to be reverse grid. It's going to be a lot more of a topsy-turvy grid there, and things are going to be much harder, especially if you win race 1, to be able to also repeat that win again in race number 2. So I'm expecting that the team play is going to play a huge and a very important factor here in the super sporting class.
Definitely. So green flags are out. So ladies and gentlemen, I guess we have officially started our qualifying session for the super sporting class as we are underway right now. And let's have a look on who will be having a better timing for today. So there you go, Freddie Ang, the car number 3 from the team called Slagamas Toyota. And what are your thoughts on this, man, David?
I mean, the thing is that Freddie has been kind of putting in silently but really solid performances all around. The thing is that, you know, first round he didn't really, second round kind of like faltered a little bit, but then his first round performance has been decent enough to actually put him up in the top 3. The thing is that coming up against teams like Axel Sports as well as Prima Pearl, Telagamas Toyota, I believe only has 1 car in this race here. So you can imagine that the situation for him is a lot harder compared to some of the other teams here, because he doesn't have the support of a second driver to be able to help block positions or to be able to battle with other championship hopefuls, you know, to help him in this regard. So, but the fact that he's able to put himself up in the top 3 in spite of that is already so impressive in itself. So I'm hoping to see that he's going to be able to maintain this 3rd position here, because looking at the point situation, it is very, very tight between the from 2nd to 4th onwards. So the thing is that he's going to be looking forward to just, you know, just basically putting out his best performances here. You know, just sending the fastest possible time in qualifying, and putting himself up in a great group position, you know, for race number 1, and hopefully converting that into points. And then race number 2 is kind of like, you know, it's going to be up kind of up in the air. You know, it's going to be up to him how well he's going to be able to make those overtakes, how well he's going to be able to put himself up in front. But then, quite frankly, I'm already so impressed with what he's been able to do so far in this season, and one can only hope that he'll be able to carry that into this final round.
Absolutely. So there you go. I'll talk and review a little bit about Freddie Ang earlier on. So we are right now having a look on the livery, or should I say car number 6 in front. That's Eddie Liu. And it seems like he is on a good run so far. We have 5 minutes that has already been elapsed, and we have a total of 25 minutes left over here. Oh, that's a little bit of a bump if I got that right. And they're going through the next corner right now. So ladies and gentlemen, for watching this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale. And this is the official qualifying session that's been happening right now. So on board, we're having a look on Mark Darwin. Talking about Mark Darwin there, throughout the previous rounds, he's been spectacular there, Victor. But then, what are the chances for him on round 3?
Well, the thing is that for Mark in particular, I think it's actually been a disappointing season, to be honest, because, you know, he missed out on a lot of points in round number 1, and that's the main reason why he isn't that far up in the board. Currently, he's sitting in 5th place in the championship right now, 0 points for round number 1, but he made a lot of gains during round number 2, earning a total of 30 points. So he's certainly been on the up and up in terms of momentum, but it's really Eddie Liu right now who's leading him in that championship. So I think it's going to be a lot of discussions in that laser motor racing garage about what the situation will be as far as the race is concerned, because Mark Darwin obviously will be kind of the favorite given his level of experience, his veterancy in this sport right now, and certainly be able to extract a lot of performance out of his car. But given that he had the handicap of not getting a lot of performances out in that first round here, it's certainly going to affect him coming into this final round here. But certainly in terms of momentum though, I'm pretty sure that he can definitely make some good comebacks. The question though is like how the situation is going to be with his teammate Eddie Liu. So in terms of this point split between the two of them, it's only about 9 points. The thing is that, okay, I say only 9 points, but 9 points actually is significant in a championship like this. It can be quite difficult, especially when both of these drivers are so competitive with each other in a championship. But nevertheless though, you can see that what they're going to be doing here is a little bit of a team game. You can see Mark Darwin leading in front of Eddie Liu, providing him the tow coming into these laps. And the tow, of course, that's been very much a talking point this season as well, because especially with teams being able to run multiple cars, being able to trade that tow off each other has been very important in getting those qualifying positions. So certainly it's going to be very interesting to see how things kind of evolve over this weekend here, especially after the performance in race number 1. But I think for both Mark Darwin and Eddie Liu, the only thing on their mind pretty much is that they just want to be the faster one of the team right now. So let's see how it goes. We still got a lot of time left in this qualifying session, so there's still plenty of opportunities left for these guys to compete each other in timings.
Yeah, so I guess we are still underway right now. We're just having another 23 minutes left on the clock for these races, of course. This is the official qualifying session. So it seems like Hayden Haikal is on a good run so far, clocking at 1.26.032. And there you go, that's his timing. And coming closer at the back is going to be Farik from M7, and he has been putting on a time that is 1.26.058. And right behind him, it's Boy Wong on P3, where his timing will be at 1.26.129. And on P4, we see Eddie Liu on 1.26.233. So most of them are clocking at 1.26 there, Victor. The only thing that's making the difference is the milliseconds right behind them.
Yeah, I mean, especially between Hayden and Farik, that's so close with each other.
Very close one.
So I'm going to be very curious to see if Farik is going to be able to improve on that. But nevertheless, you know, it's the early point of the qualifying where, you know, the tires are still kind of prime. So naturally, this is going to be, you know, the first, let's put it this way, it's like the first stint to really kind of test the waters, see where they're at. But I'm expecting that sometimes some of these times may lower down as the session goes on, especially as the track starts to clean up a lot more. And you can see that, you know, it's contrary to kind of how it was earlier this afternoon. The track condition is actually quite dry at the moment, which is definitely going to be good news for these drivers here. You know, there's not going to be any wet patches on the line right now that will certainly affect their performance later on. But I think, especially for Hayden and Farik, this is going to be a very, very competitive qualifying session here, I expect.
Oh, definitely. So there you go, Mohammad Farik from M7 Japan project team. So that is the white and green colored car that we can see. And there you go, Hayden Haikal is right now leading so far in the qualifying session with the best timing possible there, followed up by Farik. So both of them will be having a close call battle to see who's going to be having the best time. So I guess 10 minutes has elapsed, and we have another remaining of 20 minutes there, Victor. That's plenty of time for the rest of the others to catch up there, Victor, especially Eddie Liu, Boy Wong, and also Mark Darwin who are coming closer.
Yeah, and you know, it's also kind of a session as well for them to put in this way, a kind of final chance for them to see where the pace of the car is like coming into the race later on. So certainly we're going to be using these sessions as well to be able to make minor adjustments and improvements to the car. Another major player in the championship here, of course, is on screen right now. Car number 61, Mitchell Chia. He and Brendan Paul are they were the overall champions in MSF this year, and certainly he has been on a roll this year so far, and as far as his racing performances go. And you know, the thing is that Hayden Heikal has been made a lot of gains, you know, in the past rounds, and Mitchell, of course, lost out on a lot of points in that first round there, and it's been in sort of a comeback mindset coming into this final race here. By the way, Mark Darwin has just set the time under 126, 125.902 for the Laser Motor Racing driver. That shoots him all the way up to provisional pole at the moment, and that could be very exciting news for the Laser Motor Racing garage.
Yeah, so it seems like that's lots of growing potential for him as well. So let's see. And there you go, we're on board with Alistair Young from Axel Sports, where his best possible time there is 1.26, and the rest is going to be 5.82. So putting him on P10 at this moment. But as what we talked about, there's still a lot of time. So right now, we're having a look on the car number 6 over here. And that is Eddie Liu, who's already on the track right now and going through the remaining 19 minutes that's left on the clock. So while we have a little bit of a time, just want to talk about how things have been going at the bottom there, Victor. You see Brendan Paul is in P11, and also Clement here is not having the best of timings. But so far, it's still 1.26 there, where they are clocking right now. It's just the milliseconds that's making the difference.
Yeah, it's actually quite huge gulf, actually, especially when compared to what the timings are like for the top 4. Even William Ho has been able to set himself in a 126.085 under like a 26.1. So, you know, I think you have to be able to get up into that kind of timing range there to really become competitive in the race later on. So it might be slightly concerning there for Brendan, especially knowing that, you know, he's no slouch of a driver either. So I wonder if there's certain technical issues with his car that he's still nursing. I mean, that had been kind of the situation he had, you know, last season, where he had a massive crash, you know, that severely dented his car and subsequently made his performances the rest of the season very difficult. So we'll see how things will shape up for him. Currently, there's still plenty of time, of course, to try to make those improvements. Certainly, you know, for Mark Darwin right now, he's currently benefiting a lot from the tow that Eddie Liu has been able to provide him, and being able to put himself in 125.9. That's a very strong statement, especially to some of the other drivers here in this series, because, you know, it's gonna take tows like that in order to be able to, you know, gain that 110, the crucial single millisecond even, you know, and that's just been how powerful the slipstream has been in a spec series like the Vios Challenge. Because unlike other kind of racing series here, you know, all the cars are equal in performance, they're equal in the power to weight ratios. So all the only way you can really make performance gains here is by taking advantage of the laws of physics here. So naturally, by having a car leading in front there, you naturally punch a hole through the air for the car that's leading behind. The car that's following behind there, and that's exactly what Mark Darwin is kind of doing on the straights there. You see, because by following very closely behind Eddie Liu's car, he's able to gain maybe a few kilometers per hour by the time he gets to the end of the straight there. But those few kilometers per hour definitely represent extra time that he's going to be able to gain throughout the lap. So definitely teams that have multiple cars will be using this kind of strategy during qualifying in order to actually get the maximum performance out of the car. And given that Mark Darwin is able to put himself into the 125s right now, I'm certain that other teams will be looking at that as well, wondering, yeah, probably we should be doing that as well right now.
Oh, definitely. So there's going to be a number of strategies that will be coming up for the rest of the 16 minutes, and we're on board with Mohammad Farik right now. And right now he's on P3, as we see Aiden Aikal has dropped into P2 as well. Mark Darwin right now leading at 1.25.902. He has gained many positions over there, especially he was on P4 earlier on, and he just got into P1. Will there be anyone that'll be beating Mark Darwin's timings? In the meantime, we're watching this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale. Official qualifying is underway right now. And just want to say thank you so much to BMW Toyota, alongside with Toyota Capital Malaysia, Dancer, Modelista, Drive M7, and last but not least, Motis. And thank you so much for making this event wonderful, seasons in, seasons out. So looking at how things have been there, Victor, I have one special name to mention right now, and that is Tengku Zhan. So what are your thoughts on Tengku Zhan? He has been spectacular on the previous seasons, but what went wrong for him this season then?
I mean, it's all simply because he missed out round one. I mean, unfortunately, he had to miss out the first round of the season here, and that unfortunately has put him out of contention, I feel, for the championship. But certainly his comeback performance in round number 2 has been literally the talk of the garage here. I mean, coming from the back of the grid all the way to the front, I mean, that's the only kind of brilliance that can really be shown by people as talented as Tengku Zhan, who right now you can see is currently diving around the inside of Brandon Paul coming into it. So he's going to be the lead car of this pack right now out on track. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's definitely very disappointing, you know, not being there to actually challenge for the championship. So certainly he's going to be playing, I feel, a kind of a backseat role in his team right now, because Mitchell Chia right now, he's second in the championship right now. And Mitchell definitely stands the best chance right now to beat Hayden Haikal in the championship here. So I'm thinking that Tengku Zhan is going to be looking forward to, you know, supporting Mitchell Chia in that kind of chase here. And certainly knowing how good he is at qualifying as well, I'm pretty sure that he and Mitchell will be looking forward to be starting alongside each other, and that's going to open up so many strategic options for them, you know, as far as how they want to try to play this. Because Tengku Zhan naturally is also very, very strong when it comes to battling wheel to wheel, and he's been known to, you know, make life very, very difficult for drivers who attempt to try to pass him. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to try to play out this weekend here. But certainly it would have been so much nicer actually if Tengku Zhan is going to be competing for the championship here. But sadly, you know, it's going to be perhaps next season for him. You know, it's very, very hard for him to make it back up from 7th position in the championship right now. He's having a deficit of a lot of points there, thanks to having no contest in the first round. So, but nevertheless, though, as far as the action entertainment goes, I think you can't go wrong by betting on Tengku Zhan.
Yeah, so that is a little bit on the views, or we can talk about the insights of Tengku Zhan's season so far. And to all of you fans who are Tengku Zhan fans, of course, I guess next season will be much more better for him. And missing out the first round, that's going to be the one that is the causing factor of what's been happening so far for Tengku Zhan's season so far. But right now, we still have Mark Darwin at P1, where his timing is at 1.25.902. So that's the best lap so far he has clocked. And let's see if there's going to be anyone that will be beating that time. Tengku Zhan right now, we just talked about this man, and he is in P2, clocking about 1.26.029 as we are coming at the end of the few other laps that'll be on the last 12 minutes, of course. But right now, we're on board with the car number 63. And that is Mark Darwin there, Victor. And there you go, Tengku Zhan right now.
Yeah.
Where he has already put on his signal light to the right.
Yeah, he's signaling that he's peeling off there. I don't think he's going to be on a hot lap right now, so he's letting the other cars behind him pass. Yeah. So that's going to allow them to go for their hot laps here. But then that's certainly going to allow him to benefit after the tow. So I'm thinking that he's literally going to try to qualify ahead of Hayden Haikal, because currently right now they're both very much neck to neck there, only milliseconds apart in terms of their timings on the board here. And that could be very crucial, given that Mitchell currently is sitting only a provisional P6 at the moment. He's going to need all the help he can get in order to chase up to Hayden Haikal. And if Tengku Zhan is going to be able to start ahead of Hayden and perhaps kind of like hold him back a little bit so that Mitchell Chia can kind of catch up, I think that will be kind of the game plan coming into race number 1 here, should this be the final grid positions here. So that means that even though Tengku Zhan is currently sitting in second, it's going to be starting on the front of the grid. His main target is definitely going to be the guy that will be directly behind him there in the form of Hayden Haikal. So that could be very interesting, quite a bit of drama perhaps that we will be looking forward to in race number 1.
Yeah, that is something to look forward to. So at this moment, We have less than 11 minutes to go as we are still underway for the Super Sporting Class official qualifying. And this is for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale. And talking about all the other races, it seems like nothing has changed at the bottom there, Victor. Alistair Young, Brandon Paul, and also Clement Yu were still at the... we did not see much improvement from the last 20 minutes.
It did seem like maybe a 3/10 at most kind of improvement from Brandon Paul's own time. His measure set at 126.6. I think previous was at 126.8, a very low 126.8 if I'm not mistaken. So certainly there are marginal improvements right now, but it's kind of really hard for him, especially being like the only driver for his team here. Pretty much Royal 47 is fielding only one car in this class right now, so it's very hard for him to be able to borrow a toe off each other. In fact, it looks more likely that everyone else is just basically taking the toe off of him right now, or rather all the cars that are directly behind him. So that certainly makes it very hard for him to make any additional gains. But the thing is that yeah, it's going to be a very tough race, I think, for him coming in. If it's going to be literally starting at the back of the grid, it's going to be more about how he's going to be able to make passes during the actual race itself. As we see the cars come around to the final turn, turn number 8 and 9. You know, we say that, you know, this north loop has 9 turns technically, but I wonder whether the drivers themselves consider turn 9 to be a turn in its own, because practically if you're already positioning your car very well from turn 8 onwards, you're pretty much going more or less straight all the way towards the first turn. So I wonder, you know, does the 9th turn really factor that much into the drivers' minds, especially in a qualifying session like this, or rather do they just you know, make the setups done already for turn 8 and just carry that momentum all the way to the end of the straight. But you can always see, you know, the axle cars all bunching up together. I mean, these 3 guys are just going to be borrowing the toe of each other. This has been the strategy they used in the previous round, and it worked out well for them. You know, they're being able to put Hayden Haikal up very high in the races in round number 2, and they're certainly going to be looking forward to doing that again in this qualifying session. Look at how closely they're just following each other coming into that 4th turn right now. But you know, being one of the highest profile teams, you know, in this super sporting class right now, they've been under a lot of pressure, and certainly none of the other teams have been too lenient in dealing with these guys here. You've certainly been seeing Alistair Young having to nurse a lot of damage during the 2nd round there. Though, you know, to be fair, some of it's a little bit his fault, but then again, you can't really fault him when, you know, there's so many other guys on the grid there that are literally gunning for his position there. But nevertheless, you know, for Access Sport, they're certainly going to be looking forward to allowing giving Hayden Haikal the space really to continue to defend his championship lead at the moment, because as long as he's going to be able to keep himself up in the podium positions race after race here this weekend, I think he stands a really good chance of taking the championship overall.
Definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on the live stream, make sure to drop down your opinions as well regarding our official qualifyings, as we will be going into our official race tomorrow. So today we're about to find out who will be having a good positions for their starts for tomorrow. So right now we're on board with William Ho, the car number 39 from Toyota Racing, and this man right now sits on P6 with the timing of 1.26.085. So there seems to be a little bit of a changes coming from Tengku Zhan at this moment. So we can have a look on what's going on the screen, where the mechanics are pretty much taking out the tires there, Victor. If I got that right, because we did not get to see the angle properly, only that we can hear is the sound that's coming from the live feed over there.
It certainly makes sense. I mean, naturally, when it comes to qualifying, you want to have the freshest possible tires to do your stint with, and naturally, contact there by Alistair to William Ho. I wonder if he's not going to be too happy about that, but looks like no harm done. William Ho managed to get it under control very, very quickly.
He's just cramming away there.
Yeah, I mean, certainly might be a little bit of words exchanged later on the pit garage, but I don't think that was intentional on his part though. But nevertheless, no harm done, no foul. So yeah, I mean, for Tengku Zhan, you know, when you're in the pits there, you naturally want to be able to put on a nice fresh set of tires before you come out to set another stint there, because you want your your tires to be at the best performance. And these tires here, they tend to have only their maximum grip levels during like the first 5 laps or so.
Yep.
So naturally, after the 5th lap, you know, you start to lose out on a lot of time, and as it goes on, if you still stick on the same set for the whole stint, it's going to make it harder and harder for you to actually be able to improve on your time. So it definitely makes sense for the team to swap out those tires before coming into it, and it also gives an opportunity, especially for the engine to cool down a little bit, because naturally if you're going to be hot running all the while, that also puts a bit of deficit into your performance. So that's why you can see the hood being popped up there to allow a bit of the heat to dissipate from the engine bay, so that the engine will not be too hot later on when he's going to be running his last stint here this evening. But nevertheless, with 5 minutes to go, it's going to be a little bit tough, I think. Rather, it's going to be very, very tight, I think, for a lot of these drivers to be able to set their good times. I mean, John has been fortunate enough to be able to put himself up in the top 3, but is looking to try to make it better going up to the top. As we see a replay right now of the incident there, and I think that William might have actually lost a bit of speed, actually trying to get himself turned into that final corner, which is why Alistair ended up rear-ending him there. So certainly, he is definitely looking like he's struggled with grip as well in some of the previous replays as well. And can be very tricky actually in that final turn, because you tend to be your tires tend to be very much loaded when you start to turn into turn 7, and unfortunately if your front tires don't provide enough grip, you sometimes find yourself understeering out onto the grass, and that's led to quite a bit of discussion actually between the drivers and race control about track limits, because technically in past races we had the race control had enforced track limits at turn 8, but what has been discussed, rather what's been revealed by the drivers, is that even if you do go out on the track at turn 8 there, you don't necessarily gain an advantage really, because one is you're mostly going to be losing a lot of grip because it's mostly grass and only bricks out on the outside of the track there, so you don't really gain that much really by overrunning that proportion of track. So as a result, race control has decided to be a little bit more lenient as far as enforcing track limits at turn 8. But naturally, drivers are still going to try to take any advantage they could anyway. So they'll be going into turn 7 and 8 in maximum speed. But then consequently, you will see some people push themselves a little bit over that limit, and the risky part as well, you know, especially when you're running over loose bricks, is that it could cause damage to the undercarriage of your car, and it could be worst case scenario, you might actually end up flinging some rocks onto your oil pan, and if you damage that, it will cause a leakage that could literally end your race right there and then. So it's kind of a calculated risk, I feel, for drivers if they decide to really take advantage of the lack of track limit enforcement on turn 8. But sometimes, especially in racing situations, some of the drivers find it more prudent to just run out the outside there to avoid trouble. So yeah, I mean, again, these are kind of factors that you should play in the minds of drivers. So that's why motor racing is never that straightforward. It's never usually about just stay on track all the time. Sometimes you need to kind of push the limits a bit. Sometimes you need to push the rules a little bit to see what kind of advantage you can gain. But nevertheless, though, everyone, I feel, especially given that this is the last race of the season, everyone's kind of already on the same page about how track limits are going to be for this round now. So I don't think I'm expecting too much drama, regarding the track 8. Turn 8.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we are nearly at the end of our official qualifying for the super sporting category. As you can see on the leaderboards, Eddie Liu right now has clocked at 1.25.779. Followed up there in P2 is Mark Darwin, where his timing will be 1.25.902. That's not much far away from Eddie Liu. So on P3 we see Michel Chia on 1.25.93 or 939, and that is much closer to Mark Darwin now. P4 it's going to be falling for Aiden Haikal at 1.25.948. Victor, look at how close this is. And for P5 it's William Ho at 1.25.952. This thing, especially from P2 all the way to P5, just can change drastically at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, you know, about Sepang in particular, and especially when it comes to cars like the Vios, where, you know, you're not really having out and out power. It's going to be mostly about racing, you know, being on the optimal line for the qualifying session here. So what that means really is that every single driver out on track here is just chasing exactly the same line. You know, it's all about how well you're going to be able to optimize your driving in order to be able to stay on that line. And if you deviate a little bit off of that, that's where you start to lose time. And, you know, drivers like Mark Darwin especially, he's super good at being optimized here in Sepang. And it's no surprise that, you know, his teammate Eddie Liu has been able to have a little bit of that rub off of him. Now, granted though, Eddie is 3/10 faster than Mark Darwin right now, which which is certainly going to be eyebrow raising for sure. But I think for Laser Motor Racing, the fact they've got two of the drivers right now on the front of the row here, should this result stand, as we are seeing the end of qualifying right now, if this result does stand, this is huge, and this is going to be fantastic news for Laser Motor Racing, because, you know, having lost out on points, you know, for the first round, it's going to be incumbent on them to really make the most of this weekend right now to make some gains here. And hopefully, if they're going to be able to do it well, I could definitely foresee Laser Motor Racing getting themselves a top 3 finish here at the end of this weekend here, and that's certainly going to be off of the backs of the hard work that Eddie Liu and Mark Darwin have been doing this qualifying session.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I guess the checkered flags are out, so we are at the end of our official qualifying for the super sporting class. So for the provisional result, we can see on the board right now. As we see later, there might be any sorts of changes. We'll get everything updated. But at this moment, Eddie Liu right now on P1, clocking about 1.25.779, followed up there by Mark Darwin on P2 at 1.25.902, P3 Michel Chia on 1.25.939, and P4 Hayden Haikal on 1.25.948, P5 it is going to be falling for William Ho at 1.25.952, P6 for Tengku Zhan, although he stopped quite some time there, Victor, and he got the time at 1.26.029, Farik on P7 with 1.26.058, P8 for Boy Wong, and the rest has followed up throughout the day. But Victor, it has been a fantastic official qualifying for the super sporting class. We just can't wait to get started for the official race tomorrow. But what do you think so far for the provisional positions that we saw today?
Wow, I mean, the fact that Mitchell and Hayden are going to be starting on the same row of each other, that's just going to heat things up for the championship for sure. I mean, Mitchell is not that far behind, Hayden Haikal in the points right now, so he's definitely going to be looking forward to making the most out of race number 1 later on. And given that their timings are competitive as well, I think it's going to be super tight. I can't really see clearly who's going to be coming ahead here, coming into that first race. But you rest assured that Mitchell and Hayden, they're going to be locking eyes coming into that first turn there. And the first man to get through there, it's probably going to be pulling off the first putting the first opening salvo of the battle between them as far as this championship is concerned. But man, what excitement we're going to be having here from this qualifying result here. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out in race 1.
Absolutely, the top 5 looks super tight, so we will just wish them all the best. So who's going to be having a good race tomorrow, we'll find out. So this is the highlights of what happened earlier on. So I guess we already went through 30 minutes of qualifying session for the super sporting class. We'll be starting our rookie qualifying right after this. But man, it has been a long day for them. So just like what Victor said, they have been testing the waters. They've been pushing here and there on some sectors for today. So tomorrow, it's going to be the official day where they are going to be going all out there, Victor.
Yeah, it's going to be all-out racing this weekend here. The final race of the season for Season 5 of the TGR Vios Challenge. And certainly these drivers already put in their final qualifying performances here, and it really shows with how competitive the timings have been. I mean, it's been 125.9s for a lot of these drivers here, whereas like early this season, we rarely see that many drivers break into that kind of time zone. But you can see that, you know, over the course of the year that, you know, these drivers have gotten so familiar with this track right now that they've become so optimized so well in the driving here that now in this final race of the season, I think it's going to be so hard, especially for those guys on top to defend the positions. But nevertheless, though, I think the biggest winner of this qualifying session is definitely going to be Laser Motor Racing, having 2 cars locking out the front row of the grid. A 1-2 start there for Eddie Liu as well as Mark Darwin. They're going to be looking forward to getting the maximum point haul this race number 1, and I can't wait to see that.
So that's a name that you really should look forward to, especially for tomorrow's official race. So what will be happening tomorrow? Of course, the race will be happening, and we will be also coming with special performances from K-Click, Dola, Ella, and also TGR Celebrities to wrap things up. So make sure to tune in on our official social media sites from all Toyota, and if you're free, make sure to come down here and enjoy our final race of the season, of course. So Victor, I guess it has been a fantastic qualifying session so far.
Yep.
But one thing for sure is that I really can't wait to see the race tomorrow. I think we are both pumped up for that.
Yeah, I think the thing that most of the team's going to be very much bringing a sigh of relief is the fact that all the cars are going to be coming home pretty much unscathed. Maybe William Ho is going to need to clear a little bit of dirt and grass from the undercarriage of his car due to going off track a little bit. But nevertheless, though, the less work they need to do to get those cars ready for race number 1, the better it is for them, because that means they can put all their energy, all their focus coming into that first race there. So yeah, I think so far it looks like this is a very clean qualifying session here for the super sporting class, as kind of expected, from given that these are professional and veteran drivers coming in here. And yeah, I think it's probably the best start we could probably ask for, you know, as far as the teams are concerned, coming into this final race of the season.
Definitely. So I guess that's the end of our super sporting class. So we did saw some close calls that we can definitely watch out for tomorrow. The names are pretty tight in the top 5, especially we already saw. But one thing for sure there, Victor, I just can't wait to see what's going to be happening on our rookie sensation that's coming up right now. I mean, in a while.
Yeah, so that's right. The rookie class is qualifying session is coming up after this. So guys, don't tune away too far. We're going to be coming back with more qualifying action here today, this Friday. And yeah, and hopefully you guys will be able to stick around for a lot of that, because, you know, not only the rookie class, the sporting class still has yet to do qualifying, and of course the promotional class, the celebrities have yet to take the track right now for the final qualifying session of this season. So plenty to look forward to, you know. So make sure you guys strap in, you know, get your snacks, get your drinks, and sit in and relax. Enjoy the show.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess we will be going for a very short break, and once we are back, we will be having our entire focus on our rookie class that will be coming up once our advertisements are over. So don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly.
Have you ever asked yourself, is this it? Is this all I can be? Why hold back when you can do more? Be more than what is expected of you. It's time to move ahead of the rest. Choose your own path. Stand out like never before. Gain the confidence to take on the unexpected. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Discover possibilities beyond your wildest imagination. After all, you are made for more. Toyota.
Action. Hi, my name is Sharik Zulkarnain.
My name is Adele Liu.
My name is Muzidi Mushafa.
My name is Mohammad Hamdani.
My name is Ashin.
My name is Nabil Azlan, and I'm a
TGR rookie driver.
I think I started karting like a year ago. It was all because of my dad. We would make it like a weekly routine for us to go for karting every weekend.
Actually, my dad is a racer as well. I learn a lot from him because my dad has been driving more than 20 years, but I just started getting into motorsports last year.
Seeing my dad just putting in all the work also makes me want to be in the same league as him or even higher than him.
At first, I wanted to participate in motorbike racing. Unfortunately, my family doesn't want me to do it, so I had to move to karting.
We all know the last season, Mika Hakimi. Me and him were friends back in the day. He's the reason why I started racing. We just started doing some laps and you try it for the first time and then you get out of the car, you actually want to get into the car even more. I just fell in love with it.
When I was 9, so basically that's my first race in Pekan. So I moved to, basically race in Portugal for first time in Europe. So race in France, Sweden, won few championship. So I moved to F4.
I started off sim racing 1.5 years ago. Then that started where esports sim racing started, and we thought, why not? Let's try to join this, me and my brother Nakib. The year of 2020, I wasn't as active in sim racing, so I didn't really got the acknowledgement from Toyota. So that's why Nakib got the Toyota in 2021, and that's when Toyota just did the rookie program. I thought as well, I want to do the same thing as Nakib as well. But when I received a message from Toyota that I got selected for the rookie program, I was just like, I was just speechless. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here right now. So yeah.
I was watching the rookies program from last year, so I was like, wait, this can't be happening.
For the experience I have for like just a year, and for them to call me and say, oh, I've been chosen, was a huge deal.
I couldn't process the situation when I was accepted. Yeah, I think it was a few weeks ago, but like Toyota would pick me, like I couldn't believe that.
This is the chance for me to gain experience when it comes to racing. At the same time, it's a very interesting experience because getting opportunity from such a big company is good.
Whatever opportunity came to me, is I do my best to be, better driver or better person. When I start racing, just like the passion is there, so I want more and more. Even though it's not winning, but it's just the speed. Not everybody can drive the speed. All I know is that this is the opportunity, so I just do my best. Race, try to win, and we'll see what's afterwards.
Obviously in Malaysia, there's not a lot of company who would offer like this, but Toyota did it.
My passion was kind of dead, but then Toyota reached out and I started working again.
Putting their involvement in people my age, not everyone gets this kind of opportunity or like this kinds of program.
Thank you, Toyota, for giving me this opportunity to be part of the rookie program in this season.
Hopefully, I'll prove them that I can be fast as well.
We are gonna learn from great instructors, and I'm looking forward to it.
They're all like levels above me, so there's a lot of things to learn.
It's definitely going to be challenging because I'm racing with professional drivers from all backgrounds, and they're no slouch. Some of these guys are quick.
Even though it's new or even it's like old drivers, in racing, I don't think it can happen.
I like this kind of challenges because it motivates me more to push myself to the limits. And yeah, may the best driver win.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5, Round 3, Grand Finale. And we are down here in Sepang International Circuit. You're alongside with me, Matthews Isaac, and also Nick Harris will be joining us today as well. So Nick, it has been a fantastic day of racing throughout the round 1 and round 2. So what are you expecting for round 3, man?
Well, I'm expecting a lot of these competitors to make sure that they get the most of their points thus far. It has been a long and arduous journey here in Season 5. But now that we are here in the season finale, everything is going to come to fruition. We do have most of our top 5s all battling out, but today, no races. It's all about times here today, Matthews.
Yeah, it's all about times. And talking about times, it's about the qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So before we go any further, just want to say thank you so much to UMW Toyota, alongside with Toyota Capital Malaysia, Danso, Modelista, Drive M7, and last but not least, Motis. And because of them, this event has been going absolutely spectacular, season in, season out. So right now, we are underway for the rookie class official qualifying. And of course, a few minutes has already elapsed. We have a remaining of 24 minutes. And at this moment, it seems like Hamdani Hamid on P1, clocking at 1.27.873. And right next to him, it's going to be Sharik on P2, where his timing is at 1.28.348, and on P3 we have Muis on 1.36.730. So what are your expectations on the rookie races there, Nick?
Well, because Nabil Azlan hasn't exactly booked in his time yet, I'm looking to see whether or not he will be able to score a better time compared to Hamdani Hamid and Sharik. I think that's going to actually help him boost him up in towards the top pole position heading into the race. But looking at how the rookie class isn't exactly the most populated of categories, I do think that it is really imperative to note that skills of the drivers as well is going to come into huge play. We do see that the rookie classes here, most of them very, very young. We do have some of them that are under 18 as well. So that's going to be a case here. Inexperience could be the determining factor, but we also know that a lot of the rookie classes as well have been trained extensively by people such as Alex Yong, by Tengku Jan Lei. They themselves have given a lot of technical and professional input towards these drivers. So we're looking to see whether or not, not only is the positioning of the racers paramount, but also their technical skills to see the development here.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we still have another 22 minutes to go for the rookie class official qualifying. So if you're on Facebook, make sure to tune in for tomorrow as well, as we will be going into our official race number 1 and race number 2 on the following day for the grand finale. And also we have special performance coming from K-Click, Dola, Ella, and last but not least, our TGR Celebrities to wrap things up. So you don't want to be missing our grand finale, of course. And if you've got the tickets and you're also free and stuff, make sure to come down here and enjoy this race. It's not like a usual race there, Nick. It's going to be night. Yeah, we had the round 1 and round 2 on a day, of course, but this time it's going to be night. So
well,
that's the amazing part of it.
Well, I think we did have a few night races in the previous season beforehand, right? I do think that it is a great way to cap off the season here with the night race. Adds a little bit more dynamic, challenges towards some of our drivers here. Visibility can be different compared to during the day, but one thing is for certain. The heat isn't exactly the same as during the day, but the smell of burning tires, though, burning rubber through the asphalt still permeates the air in Sepang. So for those of you who are gearing up for the weekend, do remember to spend it here with us at Sepang International Circuit.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess there you go. Seems like Naqib Azlan's timing has been cancelled off. Although he came in on P1, he was the fastest, but something happened over there. As we see, Sharik is coming into the pits as we have another 20 minutes to go in this race, and we're on board right now with Nabil Azlan. So let's see what Nabil Azlan is able to do right now. Earlier on, the timing was fantastic for this young man there, Nick, but then it seems like it was cancelled off. Maybe something happened in the exits and stuff where he went over the board and he just got cancelled off. But right now, he goes again. So let's see what he's able to do as he's coming off from the final corner.
All right, 5 more seconds he has in order for him to break that time. Maybe he could.
Looks promising.
It's only 1:26, putting him up to second position here. A difference of a 56 and 56th of a second here. The difference between him and Sharik. 1:26.912, 1:26. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it seems that Nabil Aslan's time just got resetted again. I'm not entirely sure what is the issue here for Nabil Aslan. We will find it out from the production if we have the ample amount of information, but let's just work with what we have now. Sharik still on to his top position. Hamdani Hamid, Adel Liu and Muiz have already put themselves in positions 2, 3 and 4 respectively. Nabil Aslan though, still very much challenged out. He does have about the 15 kilo handicap there on his vehicle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so talking about Muiz Mustafa on the leaderboards, he is standing at P3. Round 1, he got 24 points, and round 2, he's able to snatch 26 points. So how about for round 3, we will able to find out. So if you're a fan of Muiz Mustafa for the rookie class, make sure to give your very best support on the live stream. And if you are able to come down here tomorrow, make sure to enjoy the race, and we will be crowning our winners for tomorrow, who's going to be making it in the in the top 3. We'll be able to find out tomorrow, of course, and also on Sunday. Tomorrow we will be closer to find out who's going to be winning this race. But there you go, Muiz Mustafa on P3 on the overall result. He has 50 points there, Nick. So on the leaderboard, we have none other than Nabil Aslan, who already had 68 points. So from 50, matching up against 68, there is still chance, but he needs to make sure he gets in the right position tomorrow.
Yeah, that's for sure. We do look at the rookie classes here. Don't know whether they're going to be continuing along with the way where how rookie classes as well as the, I think, with the promotional classes, or with one of the other classes. Super sporting classes will be combined together. That may actually affect the overall positioning, because we do see more vehicles on the track, more of the rookie class drivers, the more inexperienced ones, will underperform a bit, mostly because of how congested the track is going to be. Now we are looking at vehicle number 58, Hamdani Hamid, now getting a few fixes here before he goes back out for his attempts at scoring a better time.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Victor earlier on, and one of the reasons why they come back on the pit is to get fresh sets of tires, and of course they just want to get the better timing with better tires there, Nick. So let's see if there's going to be any sorts of drastic improvement from our 5 rookies today. So Nakib Aslan's timing is where we are still curious to find out what is going wrong there. As we see, every time he comes off the checkered flags, he's just, of course, the his last sector there, something just goes off there. His timing is still 0, so we will be getting an update on that very, very shortly. So we have another 17 minutes to go, and that is car number 58, Hamdani Hamid. Right now is out with a fresher tires. Will there going to be any sorts of improvements? We'll find out. And this is car number 66, Adel Liu. Seems like Adel Liu right now is in P5 on the overall result, and she got a total of 32 points. Round 1, she's able to collect 10 points, and round 2, she got 22 points. So for the round number 3, can we see her skipping past Sharik, unless Sharik makes a mistake there? So Sharik really needs to put on a performance to keep Adel, or else Adel has a chance to climb on the leaderboards for now. And this is Nabil Aslan, where the mystery still is around there, Nick. We are still able to find out what's going on.
Well, mystery aside, you can see Alex Young giving a little bit of words of advice to Nabil. And of course, looking off Adele as she goes off. I think that he was able to actually give her enough, was able to give advice there with the limited amount of time. Now, being in the pits here during the qualifying rounds is actually less stressful than being in the race itself, mostly because that you don't have the pressure of worrying about somebody nipping at your heels. So you only have to worry about the pressure of timing here. So if you've already been able to score a really good time, then that's great. You know, there's not much pressure on that. Then the race will actually come with that much less worry. But if you are on the back end, though, it is going to be rather stressful coming out of that pit and losing an ample amount of time to just idle time within the pit rather than actively competing on the track to get the better time.
Yeah, so right now we're on board with the livery or car number 32, Muizuddin Mushafa. Or we'll just have a look on the inside of the vehicle, of course, as he is coming into turn number 8 at this moment. And let's see, in the remaining 14 minutes, is there going to be any sorts of improvement in the timing from the rest of the other racers for the rookie class? We'll be able to find out very, very shortly. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this, this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale official qualifying. And we are underway for the rookie class. And there you go, Sharik right now is in P1 there, Nick, clocking at 1.26.841. And look at the difference, 1 second difference compared to him and also Hamdani Hamid in P2, where he clocked about 1.27.133. So that is pretty far from Sharik.
Well, in this, the fact that the grand finale is here, all of the timings that they are able to record here in the qualifying rounds will definitely bring them closer and closer. Remember, the one to watch out for is Nabil Azlan, but judging from the points as well, it is going to be imperative that some of these teams put Nabil Azlan behind as much as they can here, just to ensure that there could be a little bit of competition between these rookies in terms of who is going to be getting that first, second and third place podium standings.
Yeah, that's for sure there. So the next 13 minutes we'll able to find out who will be having a better timing right now. So at this moment, Adele Liu has got into P3, where her time is right now at 1.28.229. And that seems like some start for Adele right now. Will she able to keep it up? That's the biggest question. As we know, on the overall result, she is at the bottom on P5, but still has a lot of chance to actually climb up there, Nick. So that is going to be a huge gamble for her.
Yeah, I think that's going to be quite a bit gamble here. She was in position number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Now being able to improve her time. It is a 1 second gap from positions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We do see a bit of a changes here. Nabil Azlan now finally gets his time in. Not too far ahead of Sharik. But then again, winning by a mile, winning by an inch is still a winning for Nabil Azlan. Now we are observing car 66, position 4, Adele Liu in the rookie class.
Yeah, Adele Liu seems like she dropped one position earlier on because she was on P3 and right now she's on P4. So is there going to be any sorts of changes in the remaining 12 minutes? We're able to find out. So Nabil Azlan, it seems like the mystery is solved at this moment. It seems like his time has been on the board right now as he is the fastest man so far in the rookie class official qualifying. As we know, his time is at 1.26.812 and Sharik earlier on is pretty much closer to Nabil Azlan at this moment. That's what Nick said earlier on, and Hamdani Hamid is in P3, so that is going to be a close call between Sharik and also Nabil Azlan as they come into the final turn later on. But Muis in P5 right now, Nick, where he is at 1.29.033. Not the best of starts for Muis at this moment.
Yeah, not entirely the best start here. As we can see, the beautiful new drone shot here, production working overtime to provide you this beautiful aerial view to track the overhead action here. It does show quite a bit of the scale of how big the North Paddock is.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
it may not be as big as the full circuit here, but it is considered half. I think it's about a total for the whole Sebak circuit, it's about 5.5 kilometers. For the North Paddock itself, it's 2.7 kilometers, 2.5 if I'm not mistaken. So it does show quite a bit of the scale here. Nabil Azlan holding on top position, pole position as of right now with a time of 1:26.812.
Yeah, fantastic racer, very promising from Nabil Azlan at this moment. As we know, he is at the very top of his performance. So another 10 more minutes remaining in this official qualifying. If you're down here, make sure to give your very best support. I mean, of course, on the live stream. Tomorrow is the official race, so I just can't wait to find out for the rookie class just what Nick said earlier on. this rookie class will be something to watch, as they will be joining hands with the rest of the other classes, of course. Either it's going to be Super Sporting or Sporting, we'll find that out tomorrow. So that's going to be a challenge there, Nick, because they will be facing against veterans and also experienced racers. Right now, of course, it looks very much a game of their own, a playground of their own. But tomorrow, you are going to go on a different people's playground and you are going to fight for your position. That's going to be a difficult task.
Equivalent to throwing a baby that can't swim into the deep end of the pool. I mean, it's definitely going to be very daunting for a lot of our rookies here. I do think that with the fact that someone like Teguh Janle, who has been acting as a mentor towards them, that is going to be holding on some of the top positions, they're going to be sharing the track with their mentors as well. I think it's going to be a huge, I guess, jump in competition. But there's also the fact that, I mean, the only way to learn sometimes is baptism by fire. You need to be put out of your comfort zone. You need to be put out of the, how to say, that level of competition that you're just so used to make sure you push yourself. So it is going to be very make or break for a lot of our rookies here. But in the past, we have seen names such as Nabil Azlan, Sharik and Hamdani actually perform pretty well in the past year, despite the fact that their race is going to be congested by some of the other drivers from the super sporting class.
Yeah, so Muhammad Nabil, who is going to be the one that to really look forward to on the round one. He is able to collect 31 points, round two 37 points, so that is a huge number, and that all makes it up to 68 points in total, putting him in pole position right now. So in P2, it's going to be Muhammad Hamdani, although he's in P3 right now, clocking at 1.27.131. But on the overall result, that man is in P2, and he's very close to Nabil Azlan actually. And he is just a few points away, which puts him in P2 with 56 points. So Muiz Mustafa is on P3 with 50 points on the overall result. So tomorrow it's going to be a huge gamble actually for the rest of the races. If you look really well there, the gaps between P4 to from P1 to P4, it's going to be a very tough battle to fight. So remember, they will also be joining forces with the rest of the other races, of course. So that is going to be putting extra pressure on them. But I'm very sure they're all well experienced, because on the round one and round two, they were still able to get the points that they wanted. So this few rounds, it's going to be another special one to really look forward to, especially the final remaining round for tomorrow. So we have another 7 minutes to go for the rookie class official qualifying. So we're on board with car number 32, Muzuddin Mustafa right now, as he is able to get into P3 at this moment with the timing of 1.27.048. Nothing much of a change there, Nick. It seems like everything is locked up, unless we see Sharik surprising us, because he's the only one that is closer to Nabil Azlan.
Yeah, I do think that could be the case here. It could be a three-way fight between Nabil Azlan, Sharik and Hamdani. Though Adele Liu is still very much in play here. She does have a limited amount of time for her to score, to at least get a better time if she wants to mess up the overall standings here between Nabil Azlan, Sharik and Hamdani. Unless she's able to get 126.7 overall, then she may actually have to focus on just getting the better time over Hamdani.
Yeah, definitely. And this is also the best moment for these racers to, test some things out, because tomorrow there's no more chances left for you. You're just going to go on a war there with the rest of the others. So today is the time to actually get the best timing possible and put yourself on the best starting position possible. And tomorrow it's going to be do or die situation for these races. But at this moment, we're having a look on the car number 66, Dalu, and she's coming off on the final turn. And let's see if there's going to be any sorts of changes between Adele and also Hamdani, as they are pretty much not that close actually, but when it comes to the milliseconds, Adele is pretty far out from Hamdani Hamid. We're keeping him in P3 at this moment, but I would say there, Nick, Nabil Aslan has been having a fantastic racing, and if he's able to keep this up, I'm very sure he's able to, you know, get a nick on the championship this time.
I do think that's going to be the case here, as we're going to be seeing Adele Liu now trying her level best to improve her time. But for now, Nabil Aslan still holding on towards the top position here. It is going to drive him closer and closer towards that first place podium finish if he finishes out on top for pole position at the end of this 5-minute left qualifying round.
Yeah, so another 4 more minutes left on the official qualifying. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale, and we're underway for the qualifying session, rookie class, as we are having a look on these 5 rookie racers going all out to set themselves in the best position possible for tomorrow. And remember, we also have special appearances from K-Click, Ella, Dola, and also our TGR Celebrities. So make sure to tune in for our races tomorrow and also witness their special performance, their special appearance coming in as well. So tomorrow and also the next day, we will be able to find out who will be crowned as champion for Season 5. It's been a long season from Season 1, and now we are in Season 5. So that shows we are going on a long marathon there, Nick.
Yeah,
only to find out what's going to be happening tomorrow.
Yeah, it is going to be a long one indeed here. Aside from the concerts, we do have some activities that you guys can participate in. Hopefully you will be able to get some pictures with your favorite celebrities or some of your favorite drivers as well. That's always going to be a great one. We are going to be capping off today with the official qualifying for the promotional class, but tomorrow is where all of the action starts. If you are here, if you are wanting to play that little fantasy game that we've been having on the Toyota Gazoo Racing website, I think this place will be easier for you. This particular qualifying segment will be easier for you to at least track or give you a better understanding of who is going to end up on top here. But looking at it now, it may be a little bit changed up here as Hamdani Hamid was able to go ahead of Nabil Aslan in terms of time.
Yeah, fantastic timing set by Hamdani right now, where he is clocking at 1.26.664, leaving Nabil Aslan on P2. It's just a few milliseconds away, as you can see. Nabil Aslan is also clocking at 1.26, just at 812 and 664. That's the difference between Hamdani and also Nabil Aslan. Unless we see Hamdani Hamid is able to make a difference over here. Oh, it seems like, oh yeah, we got the feedback again. So there you go, still not much of a difference for him, as we are still underway in the remaining 2 minutes that is left on the official qualifying. High beams from Hamdani Hamid. So I'm not sure, either he is celebrating his timing or he needs emergency help there, Nick.
All right, so we do see here from what we can see for Muiz Mushafa, gonna have his vehicle pushed up. I think there might be a bit of an issue with his vehicle. We will wait to find out later on. Unfortunately for us, we don't have access directly into the pit here, but we will get some relevant information to expand upon later on. However, as we can see here, 90 seconds left on the clock, which means about roughly a lap or two. Matthews, what do you think? Are there going to be any changes here? Nabil Aslan still taking up top position here, away from Hamdani Hamid. Very close between Sharik Zulkarnain, Hamdani, and Nabil.
Yeah, this is going to be the race that we really need to look forward to, especially for the rookie class. We saw some fight from Nabil and also Hamdani in the total, or shall I say the overall race. But over here, looking at the timing, Sharik has been impressive, keeping himself in P3, clocking about 1.26.837. So tomorrow, it's going to be a deciding day to find out either Nabil Aslan, Hamdani, or Sharik who is going to able to finish this race in a better position. But at this moment, Sharik right now still in P3. Not much of a changes as we are going into our remaining 38 seconds of our official qualifying. So tomorrow, it's going to be a close call, a close fight between Nabil, Hamdani, and also Sharik Muiz. Unfortunately, he could not compete in the official qualifying today, as he is in P5, the last position today. And as we saw earlier on, his car was having a little bit of a problem, so he has to go, or forced to go into the pits, because you don't want to be messing up for tomorrow's race as well. So Muiz, on the overall result then, Nick, he's in P3. So tomorrow we might see a comeback from Muiz. So make sure you never close your eyes on Muiz there, because he did so well on round 1 and round 2. So round 3 is his final cards there he's going to be playing. So he will be making sure that tomorrow he's ready to climb the leaderboards there, Nick.
All right, we shall wait and see Muiz, despite the fact that he is holding on towards a top 3 position. Today, it could actually affect his overall positioning here if the positioning of his vehicle is going to be the lowest in the rookie class. There is going to be quite a bit of challenges here, especially if someone like Adele or Sharik do not allow any advancements of his positions here, Matthew. So as much as I want to give Muiz as much credit in terms of his safety, the fact that it's the finale, the fact that a lot is at stake, the fact that podium finishes also are going to be counted into play here, it's going to be very important here. Muiz is definitely very well aware of what he needs to do tomorrow.
Yeah, so it seems like a fantastic timing set by Nabil Aslan right now, as he is in P1. So that is a fantastic position for him to start tomorrow. So we know he's been the promising one from round 1 and also round 2. All he needs is just round 3 to finish it all off, unless we see this man, Hamdani, giving a fight and making a comeback, where we saw he is in P2 at this moment. Even on the overall results, he is pretty closer to Mohammad Nabil. So tomorrow it's going to be Mohammad Nabil versus Hamdani, and there are some that is able to mess this up to there, Nick. It's pretty much an open race, if you ask me.
It is. I think the margins between positions 1, 2, and 3 are still very much in play here.
Yeah.
So I do think that we won't see a clear winner until tomorrow in the race. So everything that you hear from us in the commentary table, ladies and gentlemen, could be as far as what we can see, a little bit of speculation here and there, but Nabil Aslan, still one of the more favorites to win here, but it seems that the moniker of favorites to win is starting to go, is starting to fade further and further away, as drivers such as Hamdani Hamid as well as Sharik Zulkarnain are giving Nabil Aslan quite a bit of tests for himself.
Yeah, so that is the livery number, or car number 44 there. Sharik Zulkarnain. So I guess our results will be coming up very, very shortly. And there you go, the official results are out. So Nabil Aslan on a fantastic run so far in the official qualifying for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Challenge Season 5 Round 3 Grand Finale P1. That is for Nabil Aslan, where he clocked about 1.26.391. Followed up there by Mohammad Hamdani Hamid on P2. And P3, we saw the rest of the other flags coming in as well. So, to you, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to tune in tomorrow as well to find out who's going to be winning the rookie class, especially where they'll be joining up with the rest of the other races, of course. So this is the highlight of what happened earlier on there, Nick. I'm not sure what happened to Muiz's car there. I think he faced a little bit of a technical issues, and he was forced to go into the pits, or else he would definitely be clocking a better timing, because he was able to fight in round 1 and round 2, keeping himself in the top 3 battle. So it's pretty impossible for him to clock the worst time possible today. So I believe today he was just forced to go into the pits. Tomorrow he will be going all out with his final fight.
I will reckon that's going to be the case here, because this is the finale. There is not going to be any more carryover points. I mean, they have to race their hearts out heading into tomorrow. So we do have very, very interesting stakes here for a lot of our rookie drivers. Most of them now very much in tune with the fact that the competition is starting to heat up. The fact that they're going to be sharing the super sporty class means that before this, looking at how some of the drivers were able to score their times, in the previous qualifying for Super Sporting. Very sure that a lot of the rookies will be looking very, very closely to see how Super Sporting has been performing across the board in terms of their times.
Yep, so there you go, a look on Nabil Aslan. As we see, he has been absolutely phenomenal. Checkered flex on him. And that man has showed a lot of potential to win this race. Can this be his race on round 3? Or is there going to be any new name on the leaderboard on the finals there? We'll be able to find out very, very soon on our race 1 and race 2. They'll be happening tomorrow and also Sunday. So you're back with us, Matthews, and also Nick Harris, your official commentators of the day. I mean, throughout our entire season, and also round 3 grand finale, of course. But Nick, how should I say this? Your potential racer that will be making a surprise tomorrow on the race.
I think I'm going to give it to Hamdani. I think Hamdani or Sharik actually did give quite a bit of challenge towards Nabil. However, I do think that with the fact that it's not just going to be the rookies playing on the track anymore, right? They're going to be playing with the big fish. So this could actually put a wrench into Nabil's aspirations for a podium finish or a number 1 podium finish. And I think that's going to be very important to note heading into the race, mostly because that not only do they have to be competing with the other rookies as well, despite the fact that the Super Sporting class doesn't actually affect the positioning of them. Super Sporting with rookies doesn't actually affect the whole game.
Yeah.
But like I said beforehand, the fact that the track's going to be congested, sometimes intimidation. Seeing how some of the better, the more experienced drivers drive, may actually make the rookies play a little bit more cautiously. May not give or maybe they might have too much respect for some of the seniors that are on the track.
Yeah, talking about respect, I guess tomorrow is where we will be able to see, is there going to be any respect, or are they going to go all out with no respect and going full challenge mode? But one thing for sure is that, Nick, I'm really looking forward for tomorrow's race. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Season 5, Round 3 Grand Finale. And before we go for our short break, I just want to say thank you so much to UMW Toyota, alongside with Toyota Capital Malaysia, Danso, Modelista, Drive M7, and last but not least, Motis. So it has been a fantastic qualifying session. Now, I'm really looking forward for the sporting class there, Nick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. We do hope that you guys are going to be staying with us from start to finish. And if you just joined us, we would like to apologize. We have already passed the rookie classes. However, what's waiting for you ahead is going to be the sporting and promotional class. Until then, he's Matthews. I'm Nick Harris. We're going to be back with more Toyota Gazoo Racing action. Until then, here's a word from our sponsors. We'll see you in a bit.
Toyota, all about the drive.
Have you ever asked yourself, is this it? Is this all I can be? Why hold back when you can do more? Be more than what is expected of you. It's time to move ahead of the rest. Choose your own path. Stand out like never before. Gain the confidence to take on the unexpected. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Discover possibilities beyond your wildest imagination. After all, you are made for more.
Toyota.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Toyota Gazoo Racing round number 3. This is the final round of the season, and it's happening at nighttime. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Nick. And we're going to be your commentators today as we bring to you qualifying for the sporting class. So how are you doing, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. I do think that there is going to be quite a number of races that we're going to be looking forward to tomorrow. However, today is all about qualifying. Today is all about fastest times and who is going to be holding on towards that pole position. I feel that that's going to be the case here because we did talk about championship stats. We did talk about the overall point system towards the entirety of the season. Remember, this is the 3rd round here. So we've had a total of, I think, there is about 2 races per event, right?
Yeah.
Per round, right? So that's a total of about, I think, what, 6 to 8. I think, yeah, about 6 rounds, I think, altogether here, including the next 3 rounds that we're going to get tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So yeah, so that's going to be certainly things to be excited to be looking forward to in this weekend. But first off, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors for this Toyota Gazoo Racing event. Starting, well, not last one, first off with Denso, Modelista, Motis, Toyo Tires, Anke, and Drive M7. Thanks to these sponsors for making this event happen. And certainly they've been providing so much support all throughout the season here in the Toyota Gazoo Racing series. So now coming down to brass tacks, sporting class. It's a super competitive class. We've got a really stacked grid, 18 total competitors in this one, so you know that every single one of these guys are vying to get themselves up to the top, isn't it?
I mean, Super Sporting Class has been one of the more competitive categories in the entirety of the season, so we do believe that it is not not set in stone who is going to be walking away with the podium finish. I do believe that with the stats that we have been given thus far, not too much here between Nakib Nur Azlan, Bradley Benedict, and of course Abdul Mikhail, who are holding on towards the top 3 spots.
Yeah, indeed. Nakib Nur Azlan is currently the leader in this class right now with a total of 68 points, and that's off the back of an amazing round number 2 there, where he earned a total of 42 points, and certainly winning those first 2 races back-to-back tends to kind of do that for you. But for Nakib, you know, his main competition, Bradley Benedict, has only been able to net a total of 52 points, so it's certainly a wide gulf between both of these drivers here. As we are seeing the drivers all released now. The green flag is out on the pit garage. So what that means is that all the drivers can now come out on track here to start their official qualifying. And leading the pack is the 23 Motors cars. And both of them leading each other coming out of the garage and into turn number 1. So it's going to be exciting. I mean, I definitely want to see whether or not Nakib Nur Azlan will be able to maintain his top spot here in this class right now, because certainly he's been making waves ever since he graduated from the rookie class into the sporting class right now, and certainly has become a kind of setting the standard, I feel, for even the rookies this season. So certainly a lot of expectations for us all across the board in this official qualifying. But as far as performances go, all that really matters is how you perform on the track.
I do believe so. We do see that the sporting class drivers do tend the jump from rookie to the jump from rookie to sporting is going to be quite a big of a jump here. I do believe that sporting class, the technicalities that are being shown in sporting class are definitely a lot more advanced compared to the rookie classes. So for someone like Nakib Nur Azlan to actually be pretty high on the standings here is actually going to signify that maybe the rookies as well as the sporting class not too far off in terms of their quality of driving maybe.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting point to kind of touch on, right? It's because like the super sporting class is separate from the sporting class, but all the drivers, the quality of the drivers in both the classes are quite similar to each other in terms of like their overall performances. I think it's mostly going to be the level of experience really that becomes the main differential when you talk about both of these classes. But certainly these guys are no slouches when it comes to racing out on track here, which is hence why a lot of the racing that happens in the sporting class is just as good as it is in the super sporting class. Now naturally the field is a lot bigger here in the sporting class, which means there's a lot more opportunities, let's put it that way, for incidents to happen. But naturally, the best drivers are the ones who are able to keep themselves out of trouble the most part, are able to put out consistent performances round after round after round. And naturally, now that we're coming to the final round of the championship here, it's all going to be about the final flourish, the final finish, and how you are going to put a nice little cap to the end of the season for you and your team here. So, it all starts, of course, with this qualifying session here right now. So let's go ahead and have a look at car number 86 right now from the Millennium Motorsport team. As we can 23 Motors, as we can see them currently coming around to the final turn now. This is going to be them leading the pack very much, but quite curiously, they're not really sticking that close to each other. Abdul Mikhail and Amir Mirzar having set a time of 127.8 and 128.7 respectively, and I think it'd be kind of prudent for Amir Mirza to actually catch up to his teammate there, so he can actually benefit off the tow as we watch the onboards right now here out as he turns into the first 2 turns here on this North Loop circuit.
All right, North Loop circuit is going to be completed by him. We do see that the time available now is going to be hitting 26 minutes, so they do have an ample amount of time here. Now, we did talk a little bit about racing mentality here, but we never really talked about qualifying mentality. So what is the most important thing going into qualifying here, Victor, as a driver?
So the thing is that qualifying on this track, on Sepang, a huge track with a lot of runoff, but also a very wide tarmac actually compared to a lot of other racetracks. It's the fact that these cars, the Vios cars, are not particularly high on horsepower, which means that you're the thing that drivers are mostly focused on is maintaining their average speed throughout the entire lap. But then the thing is that given how optimized the track is, it's usually quite hard for you to gain time by deviating off of the racing line. So really, there's really only one kind of like ideal lap that everyone in this class is just gunning for. And the closer you are to that ideal lap, the better it is for you to, the higher the chance of you for getting yourself up into the provisional pole. But this means that even if you make a slight deviation from that ideal lap, you know, just maybe going off a little bit or breaking just a little bit off the timings there, that will just add like 110, 210 to your total lap time. And obviously it will kind of make it very, very hard for you to get closer and closer to that ideal lap time. So naturally, all these drivers, because they're just chasing that same line all throughout, the only way you can really get a differential in performance is by taking advantage of the laws of physics, you know, by getting the slipstream off of your teammate or off of other cars, or really optimizing the performance of your tires to the temperatures of the oil temperatures, as well as the temperature of the tire itself, to make sure that all the conditions are perfect enough so that when you do hit the ideal lap, you'll be hitting that ideal lap with the maximum amount of performance that your car can provide.
I think what's really important to note here in qualifying, one of the biggest differences in qualifying as well as in the race itself, is that qualifying here, they do have to give a lot of attention towards the racing line to try to, as you have alluded, as you have aforementioned, finding that optimized, the optimum racing route for them to get the best time. And sometimes when you are alone qualifying on the track, it may be a little bit harder here because you don't have a frame of reference, because you're not chasing after somebody. So racing line may sometimes not come too much into play during the race itself, because sometimes it does open up different opportunities. But considering the configuration of Sepang and how ideal it is for some of these drivers to get those quick spots, staying as close to that racing line as possible, not deviating from it, is going to be the key to any of these drivers here scoring the top position.
Yeah, and I think that especially given that we've run this for 5 seasons now, and we've been racing in this North Loop circuit countless times here in this Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Challenge, the drivers are actually becoming so optimized now in how they approach this track here, that really, I think as time goes on, it's getting harder and harder to really differentiate yourself from the pack. It used to be that, you know, even just being on that ideal lap there is already enough to just shoot you up into the top of the board. But then now you can see that so many drivers are so knowledgeable about the track now that it's getting harder and harder to find that differential between each other. But nevertheless, though, Nakib Aslan continues to impress us here, putting himself up into provisional P2 at the moment, only about 1/10 behind Abdul Mikhail in the 23 Motors number 85 car. So certainly Nakib is looking to try his very level best here to defend his championship lead here, a lead, I must add, of 16 points, which is super significant, especially when you consider that Bradley and Abdul Mikhail are both, you know, kind of jostling each other for those points there. They're only separated by 2 points, 52 and 50 respectively. And naturally for Bradley, it's going to be a lot more tougher for him, I feel, to defend against Abdul Mikhail compared to actually trying to chase against Nakib Aslan, which certainly may become a factor in this weekend as the races continue on. But certainly for Nakib Aslan, you know, he's having all the advantages of in the world, I have to say here, coming into this weekend. So really, this sporting class championship probably is going to be his to lose here. So naturally, he's going to look forward to try to make the most out of his qualifying session, hopefully be able to get that front row start, and hopefully be able to defend his position from there on, because as long as he can stay on that podium, I think he stands a high chance of retaining the championship lead.
All right, vehicle number 88, Shafiq Samsudin, in the painted, the splotchy painted livery of his vehicle, representing a race rally KL with the best lap of 1:26.584, holding on towards that third position. So we did talk a little bit about how these drivers have not only gotten better with practice over the years. I mean, we have been doing this for about a total of 4 to 5 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But we also can see that the immediate result of them improving and getting familiar with the track is just better times across the board. And you remember, let's look back 2-3 seasons, 130, 132, 134 for a sporting class wasn't exactly out of the realm of believability for some of these drivers here. But now that they have been able to cut the time almost as much by about 5 to 6 seconds, it really goes to show that the level of understanding as well as the technical expertise of the repeated laps within, I think it must be at least 1,000 laps that they have done, not including the laps that they have done for practice in Sepang itself. So I do think that it's only just going to improve over time in terms of the technical understanding and of course the prowess of the drivers from rookies all the way up to sporting class in that order.
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of emphasis on the driver's skill here, primarily because this is a spec series, but I think a lot of credit also has to be given to the teams that have really, you know, taken advantage of this platform here, which is of the Toyota Vios, the current generation Vios that is more or less the same as the cars that you find on the street, except these are, of course, heavily modified for safety as well as performance on the track here. But certainly the knowledge, you know, they've been gained round after round on how to, you know, improve and extract performances out of this car has certainly helped a lot in these drivers' endeavors to get themselves up on top here. And naturally, you already see a kind of a pecking order in a sense, because some of the teams here, like Pressmax Motorsport, 23, S&D Tama, have been able to, you know, consistently bring their drivers up into the top 5 round after round. And I think that a lot of that credit has to be given to the team itself, you know, for being able to, you know, give their drivers all of the possibilities in order to be able to bring out the best performances during the weekend. But I think another aspect that's going to be very much paid attention to this weekend is certainly the fact that, given that this is the last race of the season, you know, this is going to be where drivers can kind of go all out, especially in race number 2, where they don't necessarily have to save performances for save the performance of the car for the next round. You know, next season we may be looking at the Vios Challenge kind of moving to the newer platform of cars, and that certainly may cause a bit of upset as far as the pecking order goes. So this is really the last chance for these teams, these drivers, to make the most out of the platform as it is right now. And, and given that this is the last race of the season, it couldn't be a more perfect moment for them to do so.
All right, so we are looking at Shafiq Samsudin, if I'm not mistaken, in the pit. May actually be getting a new set of tires here. May wants to improve his time. Not entirely sure what is happening in the pit, aside from the fact that he may actually be calling some of the mechanics and the tech team to actually respond to something here. I think
checking the tire pressures.
Pressure of the tire could be an issue of him not being able to come out of those chicanes effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that in this series here, a lot of stress tends to be placed on those front tires.
Definitely.
And sometimes, you know, if the pressures are doesn't feel right, the drivers doesn't feel the grip, especially in this final turn here. So you watch Bradley Benedict Anthony on car number 55 taking the final turn. A lot of drivers complain that sometimes if they lose too much front grip, it counts very hard for them to rotate the car in that final turn, and thus will affect their performance, not just during the race, but even this qualifying session as well, because, you know, you want to have a really good exit out of that final turn so you can carry the most momentum by the end of the straight. So naturally, you know, making sure that you have the right temperature, having the right pressure for the tires, especially given the temperatures on track are a lot different than previous rounds, given that we're running the race at nighttime here. Now naturally humidity is a little bit high today, but the track temperature overall I think is a little bit low thanks to the rain that happened earlier this morning. So now this is also going to be kind of a final chance for the teams and drivers to make adjustments to the cars to make sure that it's optimized before the race, because remember, after the qualifying session ends, the cars immediately have to go into Parc Fermé, and once they go there, teams are not able to make any more.
Yeah,
no more tampering, no more additional adjustments. This is literally their last shot to do so. and naturally they want to make sure the cars are optimized, you know, not just for this qualifying session, but also for the race itself.
I think it's really important for a lot of these drivers here to finalize a lot of their settings, to optimize whatever settings that they are going to be comfortable with moving forward into the race. And I'm thinking that these moments here are definitely going to be very important for a lot of these drivers, especially for Abdul Mikhail, Nakib Aslan and Tom Goh, who are currently holding positions 1, 2 and 3. Shafiq and Danis Ng holding on to the positions of 4 and 5. As you can see here, Nakib, Noor Aslan from Axel Sports with the best lap of 1:26.493 from car number 17.
Yeah, I tell you what, you know, the fact is, if you look at the back window of Nakib Aslan's car, you can see that he's carrying a total of 55 kilograms. And, you know, even just adding 5 or 10 kilograms to your car can massively affect your performance on track. And the fact that Nakib Aslan, in spite of that, is still able to put a top 2 qualifying performance here at 1:26.4, still so impressive. I cannot stress how difficult it really is to lug so much weight. You know, you're practically carrying an extra person in your car with that amount of ballast. And the fact is that Nakib Aslan still constantly being able to put in performances like this. I mean, man, what kind of future holds for this rookie here, I wonder. Tom Goh, ooh, that's a really dirty front end there. Must have taken a bit of a spill off the track there and caused a lot of mud inside. And I think going to be a bit of concern for the team as well, because that no doubt will affect the cooling performance of the radiator in front. So maybe they want to try to clean that up before the race. But nevertheless, though, as it stands right now, after 15 minutes of qualifying, we have Abdul Mikhail currently holding the provisional top spot here with a time of 1:26.3. Nakib Aslan is following very close behind, only about 1/10 behind the 1:26.4. Tom Goh putting in a very nice performance there with 1:26.5, and Shafiq is able to put himself also into the 1:26.5. A really good performance here for the car number 88, and certainly going to be looking to make up for the disappointment of round number 2, where if you remember, he was forced to retire his car due to a mechanical issue and thus had lost out on a huge haul of points as a result. So currently, car number 88, Shafiq, he's sitting in 9th place in the championship right now, and without the points from that second round there, he's going to be looking to try to make some redemption, I feel, in round number 3.
Okay, so redemption is going to be in his eyes, as you can see already. Big thumbs up gesture to the camera, making sure that not only we're feeling okay, but he's okay as well.
Yeah, Danis certainly can be very proud of himself. I mean, one of the few independent drivers, I think, coming into this championship here, and certainly has been able to putting himself up into 5th right now. It's no mean feat either. So, you know, even though he's sitting in the 1:27.1, I feel that if he just is able to find an extra 1 or 2 tenths somewhere on this track here, he could certainly be fighting amongst the top 3 at the moment in this sporting class. Looking down the rows here, I mean, we see Tamir Tahang currently in 6th position with a 1:27.2. Bradley Benedict, surprisingly, hasn't been able to convert his brilliant performances in the past few rounds into a good performance in this qualifying here, because it's currently in P7 at the moment. Now, granted, there's still time left for him to make some improvements, but certainly, given how competitive this field is here, you know, it's going to be quite liable for him. It's going to be quite important for him to be able to improve by a lot here, and 1:27.2. Be enough to kind of compete against the top 3 at the moment. So he's certainly going to be searching for where exactly is he losing that time out on track at the moment, as we ride along with Tommy Mitahang from the N7 Japan project team, currently sitting at 6th position there, ahead of Bradley Benedict, and a very precarious position, I have to say, because he's less than a 1/10 of a second apart from Bradley Benedict at the moment. So even just a minor improvement on this lap could certainly do a lot of work for him in this round. But look at the amount of traffic, you know, coming into turn number 4 here, which also becomes another factor in this qualifying session, because you don't want to come into a flying lap and end up having to abort that lap because another car is running slow in front of you. So naturally, you want to try to space things out a little bit, as we see Danis Ng currently out on track right now, still having a little bit of a dirty front radiator, but nevertheless, still try to gun for some good times here with 10 minutes left in his official qualifying for the sporting class.
I think this is going to be a good one for him, only if he's able to score some big conversions of time to positioning. But we do see that from positions 1 to 4, Abdul Mikhail, Nakib Aslan, Tombo, Shafiq, even Dennis Ng, all around the 126 mark with the exception of Dennis Ng. So that's going to be very close here. You can see that from Dennis Ng all the way down to Dato Danny Yip, all of them 127. So it's only like 200th of a second in terms of them, in terms of the initial differences between them.
Yeah, and bear in mind as well, you know, even the super sporting class has been able to break under that 126 barrier. So there's certainly a lot of performance on the table for these, on the track for all of these drivers to find here. And they know exactly what the potential is. It's just really a question of whether or not they'll be able to approach it, much less reach that to full potential. As now we see Nakib Aslan making an overtake there, but I think Dennis is looking to try to have a look on the inside here, coming to turn 4. Now, naturally, not really meant to race each other during this qualifying session, but it's kind of funny that right now Nakib Aslan feels that it's going to be more important for him to have clear road in front of him as opposed to trying to take the toe of another driver, which of course can become a sort of strategy for some teams here, but not as much I feel compared to the super sporting class, because in particular in the sporting class we're having more like solo entries here. We only see some teams like Team Focus Tetap having more than one car out there, which means that he can definitely play a bit more of a team strategy. But for the most part, I think in the sporting class especially, you're going to be more or less relying on the individual performances of these drivers to carry, you know, the flag for the team itself.
All right, 126.790 for Nakib Aslan, not so close towards his best time. However, Abdul Mikhail still remains at the top and pole position without much threat from Nakib Aslan. We are now on the OBC, the onboard camera for Amir Mirza Hussain from 23 Motors, car vehicle number 86.
Yeah, I can actually heard him kind of like missing his shift there coming out of turn 2, so hopefully that wouldn't affect his time too much. But certainly once you already reach the end of the rev range, you're not going to be getting any additional like boost in power. So you definitely, once you're already kind of close to that rev limit, you want to be able to shift right on time. But right now, I don't think he's going to be able to carry performance through his lap, because it looks like slowing down, allowing some of the other drivers to pass him coming to this final few turns here, the chicane of turns 6 and 7. As now we're having 8 minutes left in this qualifying session right now, so time is definitely running short for our sporting class drivers to be able to set the fastest possible time. And certainly consideration for some of these drivers is that they want to be able to get the toe of each other. As you can see in your bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can see the 23 Motors playing exactly that game, you know, having one car leading the other and allowing the car behind to actually gain a few kilometers per hour by the end of the straight there, to hopefully add an extra 1/10, 2/10 once they complete their flying lap here. So certainly the team game can only be played by only so many teams here, simply because of the lack of teammates for some of these other runners here in the sporting class. But whether or not that will actually translate into, you know, getting a good position here still remains to be seen, as we are looking at 7 minutes to go here in this sporting class official qualifying session.
I think that's going to be very important for them. Time is of the essence with 7 minutes left. I do think that these drivers, it's very important for these drivers to actually just do what they need to do here, finish it out as much as they can, and try to score their best times, because if they're not able to get this done, then they're going to have to be racing from a lot of a harder position here with 6 minutes left on the clock. Not only do they have to figure out their final configuration for the optimization of their race, but they've also got to race against the clock here, so tensions are definitely going to be running high for those that haven't secured the best times.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks like, you know, the toe has been helping Abdul Mikhail so far. As he comes across the line right now, is he going to be able to improve his time here? Doesn't look so. or rather it does actually. It's the timing updates on the board. 126.1, that's the fastest time we've seen so far here in this sporting class. It's certainly putting Abdul Mikhail up there ahead of Nakib Aslan. So, you know, it's a kind of disadvantage that Nakib Aslan is going to have to run with, you know, this weekend. The fact that he doesn't really have a teammate to support him during the race. So Abdul Mikhail already putting 23 motors on the mark here for the sporting class. So it's certainly going to add some excitement when it comes to race 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, I would reckon so. Looking at how Nakib Aslan, Abdul Mikhail, Nakib Aslan, Tom Go, Shafiq and Mirza Shahmi, I think these these 5 drivers here have been performing really, really well. I'm not going to discount Tamimi Tahang. Bradley Benedict has actually seen better days in my opinion, and heading into race number 3, he has had some speed bumps along the way, so we do hope to see him actually climb back up. But for now, from Car Roof Motorsport, car number 97, Mirza Shahmi.
Yep, Mirza Shahmi putting himself up into the top 5 with a time of 126.9. In fact, a lot more drivers are breaking into the 126s now. Tamimi Tahang also putting himself up with a 126.9 as well. And Mirza Shahmi, you know, past seasons had impressed us a lot, and unfortunately this season hasn't really seen that much action here. Hopefully with a top 5 position start here in race number 1, will hopefully put himself up on the map there. But currently, if I am not mistaken, looking at the championship situation, currently Mirza is sitting in 6th position here with a total of 24 points. So, you know, as far as the best of the rest goes, he's certainly going to be way up there. But in order to try to beat Kenneth Call from the Panglima City Racing team there, he's going to need to have a lot more points there. In fact, about 9 more points before he's going to be able to overtake Kenneth Call. And it's going to be certainly something he's going to be looking forward to doing here, especially with this top 5 position at the moment. Now, 4 minutes to go here, ladies and gentlemen, so that means there's only a handful of laps left for these guys to go ahead and put in their fastest times. Shafiq is currently, I think he's currently doing very well here. 126.5. I don't think it's been a marked improvement in time so far, but you know, being able to stay in front of Mirza Shahmi certainly is impressive in itself. But nevertheless, he's going to be looking to try to gain some additional positions here. Let's see how his times are going to be as he comes across the line here. 25, 26, yeah, 26.8. Not quite the time he's looking for. Still losing about 3/10 somewhere on the track here. So certainly going to be wondering where exactly that is, or maybe you might want to try to follow closely someone to gain a slipstream somewhere. But certainly the target right now, I think, all across the board is to be able to break into the 126s here, because Danny's Lau Sengkiat, they're looking very, very close to getting into the 126. Just maybe need a little bit more, a bit more of a push here as we see 3 minutes left to the end of qualifying.
All right, as we're going to be seeing with 3 minutes actually. They do have a bit of time. I think about 2 laps remaining before they will be able to score their best time. Tom Go already improving his time to 126.380. Nakib Aslan now going from position 1 to 2 down to 3 now. Shafiq still remaining at position 4. Position 5, Mirza Shahmi. Position 6, Tamimi Tahang. Position 7 and 8, respectively, Dennis Ang and Lau Sing Kiat.
Yeah, so currently that is how things stand right now, but I think a lot of the teams are already kind of putting their focus onto that first race now, knowing where more or less their performance and the pace the cars are right now in this night race situation, which of course differs very greatly actually compared to previous rounds here of the Toyota Vios challenge, because for one, you know, you're dealing with a lot less temperature issues. You know, racing in the daytime versus racing at nighttime means that the overall tech temperatures will be a bit lower, so you won't necessarily overheat your tires too quickly, and that means that, you know, you're going to be using a lot of, you're going to be basically having the peak performance of tires hit a lot slower compared to previous rounds here. But you can already see Abdul Mikhail lending a bit of toe now to car number 86, as he allows him to pass him to turn 1. So we're hoping that Amir Mirza will be able to improve his time here, because so far he's been doing so well in helping Abdul Mikhail to be able to get himself on the top. I think it's going to be high time for him, Amir Mirza specifically, to put his car up into the top 10 as well. Certainly will be looking to see whether or not he can pull that off. Tom Go, in the meantime, has overtaken Nakib Aslan for second spot on the grid right now. 126.380 was his best time right now as he continues to run on. And this is going to be really interesting here, because Nakib Aslan obviously having some additional weight, plus the fact that he's in the leader championship. Certainly Abdul Mikhail Tom Go will try the very best here to try to nerf the youngster. But still, Nakib Aslan is going to be very much a big target in this sporting class here, just purely off of the raw pace that this kid has.
I do think that the potential for Nakib Aslan here is going to be stifled a little bit by... It's going to be overshadowed, by Abdul Mikhail and Tom Go being able to push him up. But we're definitely going to be looking at Nakib Aslan mostly because of his phenomenal improvement from the rookies up to sporting class. And I do think that amongst a lot of the drivers here, Nakib Aslan definitely has not only the potential, but shows an ever positive growth in his future, provided that he's still going to be at this as best as he possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that Nakib Aslan coming in as a rookie is kind of like putting a lot of pressure on these other drivers here in the sporting class. Having a newcomer into this class right now, just kind of showing up to a lot of the other veterans and longtime racers here in this class certainly wouldn't do much help to soothe the egos of some of these drivers here. But nevertheless, though, brilliant performance so far in this official qualifying. Nakib Aslan currently sitting in P3. Abdul Mikhail having the provisional pole right now. We're going to be seeing as the drivers are going to be completing their final laps now, if anyone's going to be able to knock him off the top spot. But as it stands right now, Abdul Mikhail sits a very comfortable 0.2 of a second faster than Tom Go in his hot lap here. So certainly it's going to be, it'll take a very spirited performance here in order to try to meet that time, as we now see cars numbers 86 and 17 now coming across the line here. Are they going to be able to improve their time so far? Only a 126.6 here for Nakib Noor Aslan. That's good enough to put himself into top 3 at the moment. But certainly he's going to be looking forward to whether or not he's going to be able to stay ahead of Bradley Benedict when it comes to the race, because Bradley Benedict has been sinking like a stone so far, not being able to prove his time here. He's only being able to sit in the 127.2, and that's only good enough for 9th position here. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on car number 55 there in race 1, but certainly Bradley Benedict, he's going to be up to the task now, because this is how it stands here as qualifying comes to a close.
With the decline of Bradley Benedict's, the progression in the race, it is going to open up a lot more opportunity for some of the other drivers to actually prove their worth here. Tom Go now, a driver that has had his fair share of performance mishaps and incidences, now holding on to its 2nd position. I do believe that, I think it was the previous race, if I'm not mistaken, round 3, where Tom Go wasn't eligible to finish because of an incident that happened to him. So it's great to see him at least be close to the pole position here as we get the final qualifying results at the end of 30 minutes, Victor.
Yeah. Good performance here for 23 Motors. Abdul Mikhail putting himself in pole position here for the sporting class in race number 1. As you can see, it's going to be a fantastic race here, as a lot of timings are very close, all across the board. Drivers basically separated by 1/10, less than 1/10 from each other. So we know that race number 1 is going to be super competitive, super close, and of course, all the actions in the world is going to be coming in us in that first race.
All right, for those of you who just joined us, this is the highlights from the official qualifying. 30 minutes have elapsed for the sporting class. and it seems that the results are in. We're going to be seeing some of the more interesting moments in the qualifying rounds. Luckily enough, there weren't any incidences or any controversies that landed on the qualifying rounds. Rather uneventful, aside from the fact that we did see some really good times being jotted down for some of our drivers here. But moving forward, I do believe that tomorrow is going to be rather eventful here. It's the grand finale after all. So expect to see some drama, expect to see some conflict on the track. And of course, most importantly, be prepared to see our drivers race their heart out here at the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Season 5, Round 3 Grand Finale.
Yeah, grand finale indeed, no less due to the end of the championship, but also because plenty of entertainment in store for you guys this weekend. Make sure you guys tune in, or even better, drop by the Sepang International Circuit this weekend, because besides all the burning rubber and action that's coming on track, off track as well, we've got plenty of activities and performances for all of you fans out there. So make sure you guys drop by the Sepang International Circuit tonight, tomorrow night as well as day after, because there's going to be plenty to see, plenty to experience, and plenty of thrills for you in store as we come to see the end of qualifying for our sporting class here.
All right, so we're going to be closing out the highlights here. Vehicle number 55 on his final approach to the finish line. And here we are back in the studio. Hope you guys have been enjoying the live stream thus far. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Season 5, round number 3. So I do believe that it is going to be imperative for us to thank the wonderful people here at Toyota Gazoo Racing who made it possible. Our sponsors, Denso, Modelista, Motis, Toyota Tires, NK, and Drive M7. We would like to thank each and every one of you guys so immensely for making this happen. His name is Victor. My name is Nick Harris. We're going to be back with our final qualifying round of the day. Until then, we'll see you in a bit. Take care.
Having had the race confined to just racing for the last 2 years without any spectators, I mean, it can be we're a bit nervous as well. Well, it's been great. I think preparation for the race has been full speed ahead since we decided that the race is going to be reopened back to the public to welcome all our spectators and enthusiasts.
During this pandemic, everyone has been suffering, you know. It's very boring to us, you know, no crowd, nothing, you know. Yes, we do race last season, but this season finally it's open, you know. Everybody can come and visit, you know, as well as my family, my friends, you know, my fans as well. You know, everything's so exciting.
Families are coming in with their families, they're going on track, they're cheering for their favorite driver, they're going for the meet and greet session. Just the simple fact that there's human interaction makes the event so much fun.
Toyota Gazoo Race is a one-hit race whereby everybody is fair, you know, the car, everything is standard, so it's up to driver skill. Most importantly is we need to have a good team, crew, because it will help you to set up the car. You have tire pressure, you know, as well as the toe in, toe out, the suspension setting, damping of the suspension.
We're racing drivers, we're here to win, and no different for me, you know. I think my goal today and this whole weekend will be to grab as maximum points as I can and, you know, take back the championship lead.
I've set my standards and expectations quite high on myself. I'm going to do my damn best to try and do.
This is it, man. This is it.
It's fun to see the teams bringing their own fans, cheering the team. Just the atmosphere is different, hearing people drumming. So it brings up, it's not just, oh, okay, that's people being excited about something that we're excited about. So the feeling's mutual, and we're both celebrating what we're doing.
Akan berentasi garis mula bermulanya.
So far back on the grid there, stayed out of trouble, and he now comes across the line, race number 2, take the win here in the Super Sporting and Rookie
Comes
class.
the man with that roaring engine, the number 15 of Toyota Gazoo Racing. Itu dia, Zizan Raza adalah pemenang untuk race yang pertama.
Have you ever asked yourself, is this it? Is this all I can be? Why hold back when you can do more? Be more than what is expected of you. It's time to move ahead of the rest. Choose your own path. Stand out like never before. Gain the confidence to take on the unexpected. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Discover possibilities beyond your wildest imagination. After all, you are made for more.
Toyota. Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to the TGR Vios Spring Cup.
Bring on the heat. Let's go racing.
All you men with suits and ties, just sitting in the crowd smoking big cigars. I hope you're ready for what's coming now. I'm the one on the lady that will bring it down. There's a joint on the corner where the big boys play, where the whiskey's running like the rivers, but they all never come for the booze and bass. I'm the one on the lady that'll rock this place.
One of the things that a driver cannot predict nor control is actually the weather.
From the beginning.
There's a joint on the corner where the big boys play.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, race fans. It is a Friday, 23rd of September 2022. This is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Season 5, Round 3. My name is Nick Harris. Alongside with me is Victor. We are both going to be your race commentary team for today. And we have reached our penultimate climactic class of this evening, I would believe, for the viewers at home. And of course for us, the promotional class. A very eventful class, and a class in and of itself filled with drama and entertainment. As you can see now, Nabila Razali, vehicle number 92, gearing up and getting ready. We're seeing already from within the pits, everyone is basically kitted up, geared up, suited up, and ready to state the best times that they are able to record.
Oh, you can see the focus in her eyes right now. She has all of her mind and energies all poured into this lap that she's about to do in this qualifying session right now. I mean, as it is, the promotional class, as much as I enjoy the level of skill and professionalism shown by some of the other classes here, the racing in the promotional class is a lot more exciting, I feel, because simply how unpredictable things can be, especially during race day itself. Now, obviously, the titan of this class right now is on your screens here, Zizan Razak. Look at how much weight he has in his car, 45 kilograms, and yet in spite of that, still topped off the boards in practice earlier this afternoon, and certainly is going to be the man to beat in this promotional class. Certainly, it's been a very eventful season so far for this particular class, no less given the fact that all these celebrities, they love racing. Even coming into the driver's briefing here today, Zizan Raza has been all smiles, all joking around, and you can certainly feel that he is super confident coming into this final round of the season here, as the bell has been rung, and that means there's a signal for all of our drivers to head out on track and set their fastest times.
Well, most of the drivers in the other classes, from rookie up until super sporting classes, tend to have a little bit of happy-go-lucky mindsets and attitudes from the pits, but when they hit into the track, it's a whole different level. I mean, there's a real steel in their eyes here. But for most of the promotional classes here, you can see all of them very high spirits, big smiles. It's certainly an experience for each and every one of them. But I think speaking towards your experience with Zizan Razak this morning, during the driver's briefing, was in very high spirits, joking around with Teguh Jande during the driver's briefing.
Yeah, indeed. And I would say, they were really added to the kind of super fun vibe throughout this weekend here, just by their presence alone. But certainly, it's all going to come down to this now. I mean, only 30 minutes for them to go ahead, head out on track, set the fastest times possible. And I'm particularly going to be paying attention to Ahirin Ahiruddin during this qualifying session here, because she managed to hit herself up into the top threes in official practice today. And certainly a marked improvement to see from her all throughout the season. So certainly, I'm expecting a lot out of her, to be fair. But nevertheless, though, I think Ahirin definitely be feeling very confident coming into this qualifying session here, because getting into that top three means there's a lot of potential for her to get a good grid spot here should this qualifying session work out very, very well for Ahirin Ahiruddin.
I think one thing that we also have to note is Ahirin Ahiruddin isn't exactly a stranger to grinding out the hard work here. I mean, she has involved herself in many other sports as well. Fun fact, she did compete in a Muay Thai bout, I think, a few months ago. So it just goes to show that Ahirin Ahiruddin definitely has that strong competitive spirit. Whether it's going to translate in her finishing in a higher position, we shall have to wait and see, because Zizan Razak, Shukri Yahya, Kai Baha, these three gentlemen here holding positions, they are on screen positions 1, 2, and 3 at the moment here in cars 15, 24, and 94 respectively, have acted very, very much to holding their position very dominantly here. Wani Hasrita, Ain Idrus, Jananek, Ahirin Ahiruddin, Nabil Ahmad, and Nabila Razali now make up the rest of the bottom 5 of the top 3. The bottom 5 of the bracket. So it's going to be important to note in this 27-minute left in the qualifying here, who's going to come out on top. Zizan Razak now, I believe, despite the fact that weights are going to be there to counteract his dominant display, it is going to be imperative that he still holds on to his top position here. Let's talk a little bit about stats. Let's talk a bit about numbers here. Championship points for promotional class needs to be a little bit more clear-cut. I think Zizan Razak is miles far ahead in the lead, provided that no kind of mishap happens or any disqualification happens to him. It seems like he is the ultimate favorite to come out on top in the podium.
I think that's mostly because Shuki Yahya this season has been seeing a massive drop in performance, particularly in round number 2, where he only managed to net a total of 9 points during that weekend. And that certainly affected his position because Nabil Ahmad has been able to overtake him in the championship now, and currently he's only sitting about 9 points behind Zizan Raza. So certainly, given how things have been competitive last season, I was expecting Shuki Yahya to, be going toe-to-toe with Zizan Raza this season, but unfortunately that hasn't really come to pass. And it's now Nabil Ahmad is actually stepping up to the plate now and actually giving Zizan Razak literally a run for his money here in this championship. Now, granted though, it's been a massive improvement in performance, I think, from Nabil Ahmad from round 1 to round number 2. So let's hope if that momentum can continue. Maybe we might actually see Nabil Ahmad take a win away from Zizan Razak here this weekend. One can only wish, one can only hope, but certainly that means there's going to be a lot of pressure onto Zizan Razak to kind of keep his championship lead here, but nevertheless, I'm pretty sure the man is definitely up for the job here.
I think amongst everyone in the promotional class here, the biggest one here in terms of his position being threatened the most was definitely Shukri Yahya. I think that Shukri Yahya has had a few mishaps leading up to round number 3 here. I think a few races, 1 or 2 races, he wasn't able to finish. And I think a couple of those races he ended up at the bottom of the tiers, which did not allow him to progress his points that much. So as you can see here, maybe it is the schedule, maybe it is the fact that all the other drivers are getting better, but Shukri Yahya has definitely got to work really hard heading into the races tomorrow if he wants to make a splash and, disrupt the equilibrium in the standing.
Yeah, Shukri Yahya now putting himself up into provisional P2 at the moment, just behind Zizan Razak, and I hear Harry Din still carrying that performance now from the official practice here, setting a time of 129.6, and that's enough to put it up into P3 until the timings have updated there. It looks like Zizan Razak's lap time has been deleted. Unfortunately, so that puts Shukri Yahya currently on provisional pole. Now, I'm pretty sure that Zizan will be able to continue to re-improve his time later on, as he's still out on track at the moment, but kind of funny that Zizan unfortunately had his lap time deleted. Naturally, that could be because he had to cut track limits. Usually that would be the main reason why race control will opt to delete the time. So nevertheless, though, there's still plenty of time left here in official qualifying. In fact, 23 minutes of time left here, so certainly more than enough time here for Zizan to try to make up for that little mistake.
Zizan coming out from the final few turns here, as you can see on your screen. Vehicle number 15, we are going to be following him. It's going to be imperative to see how he's going to be scoring here. 129.166.
Yeah, but Shukri follows that up with a 128.4, breaking under the 129s there. Wow, that is so impressive there, Shukri Yahya. Let's see if he can keep it up.
By about 1 second ahead of Zizan Razak, but we do see that his time has been deleted again. Maybe he has to go for another lap before he secures the time. And we do see that none of the drivers have been into the pits to reconfigure their vehicles. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, you only have 22 minutes and 30 seconds from now before the promotional class official qualifying comes to an end. So do stay from now until the end. For those of you who've been watching us from start to finish, we would like to thank you. We do hope to see you tomorrow here at Sepang International Circuit. Remember, this is season 5, the round 3. This is the grand finale, the closing final race of 2022 here for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Vios Challenge.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see whether Zizan is going to finally get a nice clean lap in there, because I feel that if he does, that will definitely put him up in the provisional pole for sure, given that he's been able to consistently put himself in the 128 the low 128s, I should say, for the last 2 laps as Shukri Yahya comes across the line right now. Is he going to be able to improve in time? Yes, he does. Only marginally though, a 128.3 as he comes across the line right now, and that's going to be enough to keep himself up the top. Kai Bahar has also put himself up into the 129s as well, 129.3 for the car number 94, and certainly a performance that he could be proud of. But Ahiruddin follows that up with a 128.5, getting into the 128s now. Oh man, what a marked improvement there for Ahiruddin.
All right, Ahiruddin now showing her improved times. I do like what I'm seeing here. Zizan Razak 131. Very, very shocking indeed. Not too far behind from Nabil Ahmad, who is ahead of him by not too much of a margin here. Jananik as well. So we do see that the average time here is about 129 across the board for most of our drivers.
Yeah, and I can see that now Zizan Razak is lining himself up right behind Shukri Yahya. So you know what that means. He definitely wants to try to get the slipstream of Shukri's car coming down the main straight. And knowing that Shukri is the fastest guy on the track right now, it certainly makes sense that Zizan Razak wants to be able to mirror Shukri Yahya right now during his qualifying sessions to kind of see where exactly Shukri Yahya is finding that time on the track there compared to him. But nevertheless, though, with the tow that Shukri is going to be able to provide to Zizan Razak, that's going to help him a lot here as he puts himself up in the 127s along with Shukri, but only just because that Zizan Razak's time now is only milliseconds faster than Shukri Yahya. We see the overhead shot right now of them coming through turns 1 and 2. Brilliant shot, I have to say. I love this new drone shots that we're bringing into TGR in this final race right now. It's giving us such a good view of how the racing action unfolds here from up on top. But nevertheless, though, Zizan Razak finally having a time on the board there that's very representative of his own performance and breaking into the 127s. That's very much a sporting class level performance there from our celebrity driver.
All right, so looking at these, I do like how Zizan Razak is actually performing across the board here. He does show quite a bit of progression in terms of his time. We did see that it started out with 130 at first. Now, I'm talking about times that he has been able to state for himself already, right? Not the times that he has gotten and has been deleted. So 131 was his initial time, and then like a lap or two later, he goes up to 127 with the assistance of Shukri Yahya, if I'm not mistaken. And now Ahiruddin now holding on towards third position. Not too far behind her is Wani Hasrita as well. A lot of the ladies, as you can see, specifically Wani Hasrita as well as Ahiruddin, respectively now, scoring better times across the board here. But will it translate to better driving quality when it is race day? We shall wait and see. I mean, it's easier to get some of these times when the track is not congested, when you don't have to worry about 20 to 30 laps, right? But as the game, as the race progresses, sometimes fatigue comes into play. Sometimes your mental acuity isn't as quick as it was. Your mental acuity isn't as sharp as it is in lap number 1 compared to lap 19, and we have seen it time and time again. Some drivers closing out first position, and then I think it comes to mind, if I'm not mistaken, it was. I think it was Tom Go, if I'm not mistaken, from the sporting class, where he was holding on to his first position. I think towards the later stages of the lap, something happened and he lost control and was immediately pulled out of the race because of an incident. So we do see that sometimes these things can happen, but qualifying races across, qualifying rounds across the board here tend to be less tumultuous and less filled with tension across the board here.
Yeah, and specifically for Wani Hasrita as well, I really want to see her get herself up in the podium positions, this weekend here, because I certainly feel she has potential to do so. So far, round number 1 and round number 2 for her has been a fairly middling kind of performance, 18 points for both of those rounds, putting her currently at 36. Good enough for a fourth position now in the championship here for the promotional class. But certainly, if she's able to improve on that a little bit more, maybe she'll be able to start to challenge Mohammad Shukri for that. Shukri Yahya for that third place right now in the championship here. But nevertheless, though, being able to stay within 5/10, half a second away from Ahiruddin, that certainly is a bit concerning, but nevertheless, a good performance for her so far. Now, we still have 16 minutes left in this qualifying session. If you see Zizan Razak and Shukri Yahya headed to the pits right now to get a bit of a refresh before they head out on track once again. And we know that, seeing from the other classes as well, the amount of improvement in performance as the qualifying session closes out, that certainly both of these guys being this competitive right now in this qualifying session, oh man, I can't wait to see who's going to be able to come out on top by the time this qualifying session ends here. As Shukri Yahya exchange a few words with his garage right now, feeding back some information, letting them know what the feeling is like in the car, if there's any kind of changes or adjustments that needs to be made. But quite frankly, he's already doing so well in order to keep himself up into that provisional pole here of a walk time of 127.8, and hopefully be able to continue to do that in the rest of the session here. As Nabila Razali currently still out on track, currently only having a best position of 6 right now of a time of 130.1. She can just maybe find a tenth or two somewhere in this track here. Maybe she'll be able to start to overtake Kai Bahar for that 5th place there, because I would say between the two of them, it's not really that far apart, even though it's only 1 second. But quite frankly, if she's able to break herself into the 129s, I would say that would be an achievement in itself.
I think it is going to be an achievement on itself. What is an achievement is Shukri Yahya now overtaking Zizan Razak. Not too much difference in terms of time. Ahiruddin still maintaining 128. Wani Hasrita 129, Kai Baha as well 129, Nabila Razali, Nabil Ahmad 130, Jananik Ain Idrus 131. So we're trying to see a little bit more of a clear-cut difference between some of these drivers here. I think the biggest progress here is definitely going to be Ahiruddin. I think she started out towards the bottom side of the ladder here, and she is going to be positioning herself at 3rd position, provided that she still maintains those times.
Yeah, I know. So I also do know that Nabila, when she started out, she also wasn't able to put herself up in the points, having only 0 points in round number 1 there, but immediately shot back up into contention. Really, with round number 2, her performance in round 2 of the season here. So, in terms of that momentum, I would say that, Nabila Razali and Ahiruddin has been showing marked improvements throughout the season here. And certainly by the time we get to this final race of the season, they definitely have already learned so much already, given that they've raced on this North Loop circuit so much now. They pretty much already know what to expect when it comes to that race itself. So it's really going to be a matter of how well optimized they are in their racing performance here. And one thing you have to consider is that, compared to the professional drivers that we have in the sporting and the super sporting class, the celebrities here don't have the benefit of, constantly going out to races in order to be able to hone their skills and ability behind the wheel. So really, it's only true races like this one here in the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Challenge that they really have the opportunity to actually, spread their wings, so to speak, as far as their racing ability goes. So, of course, it's a bit of a limiting factor when you consider how much you can improve in that short amount of time. But the fact that Ahiruddin now is already putting himself up in the top 3s here just goes to show that, she already has learned a lot now all throughout Season 5.
So with 13 minutes left on the clock, right? What are the biggest adjustments here that can be made by not the top 3, but the lower half of the 9 races in total here? I'm speaking about Wani Hasrita, Kai, Bahar, Nabil Ahmad, Nabila Razali, Jananik, Ain Idrus. What do they need to do?
Well, I think for one, they need to try to follow the other drivers on the track here, because those guys in the top 5 right now, especially those who are already able to break under that 130 mark there, and just kind of shadow their line a little bit. And I think just being able to follow someone who's faster than you will allow you to observe the way they kind of take certain corners where they're kind of like breaking points or certain kind of turn-in markers are, and to kind of use that information to improve your own kind of like lap times and your racing line as well. So I feel that, the best way, especially given that this is a spec series, everyone is chasing the ideal lap, you know. Everyone, the one who's getting themselves the closest to that ideal lap is of course going to be the one who finds themselves sitting up in that pole position. So naturally, if you're following behind that guy and you follow exactly his movements, you follow exactly where he turns in, where he brakes, and you start to learn from that, then you can already start to see and feel your own performance start to improve as you emulate that kind of performance. And I think that's pretty much going to be key for some of these drivers here, as you see Kai Bahar almost losing it in that final corner. And speaking of which as well, when you talk about adjustments that needs to be made, there's going to be a lot of focus that has to be placed onto the condition of the front as far as grip levels are concerned. And that means that you have to either have the right kind of pressure to ensure that you don't experience too much understeer coming into the entry of turn 7, because if you do enter that corner with too much speed and you end up understeering too much, you're not going to be able to turn your car fast enough in order to face the main straight and to be able to get a good smooth acceleration off the line and carry that momentum to the end. So those kind of things that maybe those who are currently sitting in the bottom 5 right now in the qualifying session will have to kind of work on. And they're only going to have another 10 minutes to go, because 10 minutes is the amount of time left in this official qualifying session right now.
All right, with 10 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, time is ticking away for these drivers. Nabil Ahmad now, not the best of his qualifying performances that we have seen thus far, but let us see him finish off this final lap. 1 minute and 20 seconds thus far. He does have an approach here. Maybe he could be able to improve his time. Not necessarily. It is 1:30. No big improvements here across the board. His numbers are starting to fall off just a little bit. Now, assume that you are one of the drivers on the track. You know that you only have 1 minute left on the clock. You are not going to be able to get that best time. So what is the strategy then, Victor?
I don't know. It's pretty tough. Like, if you already are pushing it out so hard, and you also consider the fact that Nabil Ahmad is carrying extra weight as well. I think it's a total of 35 kilograms he's carrying. Now, not as drastic as Zizan Razak, to be fair, but certainly just adding 5 or 10 kilograms to the
can drastically affect performance.
Exactly. And I think Nabil Ahmad is struggling primarily because of how the characteristics of his car changes so much just from the additional added weight. And the fact that he's not been able to kind of break into 120, sorry, not saying not able to break, but not able to improve his time remarkably that much, does show that he's struggling to try to get that, adapt to the new conditions that his car is setting onto him. But I think for him in particular, it's just really about getting the grips now with how his car is handling and performing. So naturally, with extra weight means that you're going to have to brake slightly earlier, your turning is going to have to be a little bit harder, and your tires is going to be under a lot more stress, compared to if the car was not carrying the extra weight. So Nabil Ahmad is just going to have to learn as quickly as he can during this qualifying session, during this practice session, in order to try to overcome the handicap that these extra weight has provided onto him. Now, the thing is that he is still sitting in second place right now in this championship here, sitting at 57 points, which is quite far ahead of Muhammad Shukri. So he does have a bit of a buffer as far as his championship situation is concerned. But, you definitely don't want to lose out on too many points, especially given that this is the last round of the season. There's not going to be any other chances outside of this weekend to make things up. By the time we end the race on Sunday, your position and your championship points as it stands is going to be the championship position that you will have at the end of this season.
I think that's going to be the case here for him. I do think that for a lot of our drivers, consistency is going to be the key here. We did see that overall, Zizan Razak and Nabil Ahmad has been fairly consistent across the board with how much points they've been able to accrue across the 3 rounds in Season 5. But Nabil Ahmad has had his fair share of speed bumps across the board. Zizan Razak, however, despite him facing some legitimate, dampening towards his progress in the leaderboards, still remains fairly unaffected because of how much he's improved over the course of, I think his addition was only in Season 5, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it is quite a bit of short time, but a fact that a lot may not know is that Zizan is actually an avid racer. He has competed in some motorbike motorcycle races. I think it's the 150, 200cc motorbike races in the past, if I'm not mistaken. And I think a few other spec cars that he had, spec races that he has done in the past. The specifics elude me at the moment, but it goes to show that his not showmanship, his general conduct on the track goes to show that his level of understanding, his level of experience far by surpasses a lot of these drivers. If he comes out on top, it's not going to be outside of the realm of possibility to see him in the sporting class.
Yeah, I mean, how exciting would that be, though, if Shukri Yahya were to make that move?
Zizan Razak, excuse me.
That's right, yeah, Zizan Razak would be able to make that move, right? But certainly, you know, having experience as a motorcycle racer actually is super beneficial, actually, because you gain a supreme understanding of how weight transfer and sort of like how racing lines work, especially on a motorcycle, because, you know, compared to racing cars like the Vios here, you have literally 2 less wheels, and you're more going to be in tune with how the weight shifts in your when you're riding on a motorcycle. So certainly, you know, Zizan Razak definitely is one of those kind of guys who really lives for that speed, right? And it really shows in the way he's performed throughout this season here. Now, that aside, now I would say that this is going to be his biggest challenge yet, I would say, coming into this final round of the season, because even though he is in the leader championship, you know, having that much weight and having, you know, having other drivers in this promotion class like Shukri Yahya and Ahridin starting to improve on their own understanding of how motor racing works, is definitely going to add to the competition that he's going to be experiencing this weekend here. And I gotta say, I'm definitely all for it. I'm going to be so much looking forward to how this weekend is going to unfold here for our promotional class.
Yeah, I'm looking at it very, very positively, looking at how promotional class has just been improving across the board. We do see that there has been some struggles for some of the drivers to actually score some really good times and really good positions. But out of those drivers that did suffer, there were some that were able to find their own rhythm. Specifically Shukri Yahya and Zizan Razak. I do think that Nabil Ahmad also was on the cusp of finding that rhythm, but I guess his rhythm was disturbed by, I don't know, maybe something just happened, or maybe his performance just really dropped. I'm not entirely sure, but Nabil Ahmad, despite being one of the more favorites to win right now, is in the middle of the pack entirely. So we do see that with Zizan Razak coming in, he is going to add quite a bit of a wrench into the machine of who is coming out on top, who is coming out second and third. But then again, with the lead that Zizan Razak has been able to accrue from himself, he may be comfortable where he is.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Most definitely, once you're on top, you know, it's always a very comfortable spot there, which sometimes can lead to a bit of complacency. Yeah. So that's why you always have to keep improving time after time. And you know what? Who's been improving quite a bit though is Nabila Razali. Finally, she's able to break under 130, putting out a time of 129.7. Still about 7/10 behind Wani Hasrita, but certainly already putting herself up there. You know, bring herself closer and closer to the middle of the pack right now. Kai Bahar and Wani Hasrita seem to be relatively tied when it comes to the time though. 129.058 and 129.063 for Kai Bahar and Wani Hasrita respectively. So I think that, you know, with qualifying coming to a close right now between both of these drivers there, it's going to be a very competitive one here to see who's going to be able to finally put in that last lap performance there that will be able to overcome the other.
Now, while you sing the praises of Nabila Razali, I'm going to sing the praises of Ahridin Ahridin here.
Yay!
I mean, across the board, I think she hasn't actually performed really well in the qualifyings here. I think this is one of her best attempts, being able to score 128. If I think from memory, I think she was just below Nabil Ahmad in terms of time. I think it was 129 to 130 seconds here. But she's improved a full 2 seconds in her overall times here, putting her on one of the podium positions of 3rd place. 2nd place is Zizan Razak. Pole position, Shukri Yahya. 2 minutes left on the clock. Still, things can change here. Maybe Kai Bahar could push Ahridin down 1 or 2 spots here, but Judging from how Kai Baha has been performing also today, I don't see it very likely. Ahiruddin has been maintaining a very good pace across the board here. 128 flat, not 128 pretty much consistently across the laps that she's been able to complete here in the promotional class official qualifying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see if Ahiri will be able to convert this into a top 3, because just based on that pace alone, I would say she stands a really good chance of getting a podium finish here this weekend. So that still remains to be seen, but you know what is going to be coming up though. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in official qualifying, which means there's pretty much only enough time for one last lap here, ladies and gentlemen, for this promotional class, for them to finally set their flying laps here. And, well, we'll see if anyone's going to be able to make any more improvements to the time. So far, as it stands right now, Shukri Yahya sits at the top of the leaderboard right now with a time of 127.8. Ziana Raza is only 1/10 behind him with a time of 127.9. Ahiruddin about 2/10 behind Zizan Raza with a lap time of 128.1. And that puts her squarely in the best of the rest so far, as Kai Bahar is only set at 129.58. Wani Hazarita as well in the 129s, as well as Nabila Razali, although she's 7/10 behind in the 4th and 5th position here. She's certainly going to be looking to the final minute of this qualifying session here to improve on that time.
Look at that time here between Wani Hazarita as well as Kai Baha, 129.058, 129.063. That's just a very small margin there, Victor. I do believe that positions 4 and 5 could actually switch hands here if they're able to cross that finish line at a faster time, but they only have 25 seconds here. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, after this tapering off, there is no more tampering of the vehicles until tomorrow. Whatever settings that they have here on qualifying, they will bring forward. So it's really important for some of these drivers to just get a final run through of all their settings. 5 seconds left, and most likely one more lap before we call our official qualifying to an end, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, so right now we're witnessing Zizan Raza on his final flying lap here. He's been out on track for quite a while, has been able to keep up with Shukri Yahya very impressively, but now it's going to come down to whether or not he's going to be able to improve it, as the checkered flag is now waved for those who are going to be coming across the finish line right now. Car number 94, Kai Bahar, is he going to be able to improve his time as he comes through? Only a 129.0 and still not quite enough to improve his time over Ahiruddin, so he stays in P4 for now. Who else is going to be coming across the line very soon? We'll be witnessing Zizan Raza now, I think, through the fast chicane here. So he's pretty much going to be on track to finish off this lap here. And looking at his splits, not too sure whether it's going to be improving his time so much, but nevertheless, we could be proven wrong by the time he comes around the final turn here. Zizan Razak instead dives into the pits, calls it a day, and says that, yeah, 127.9, that's about as best I can do it.
Yeah. I do believe that for the drivers here, Shukri Yahya, Zizan Raza, Ahiruddin are going to be holding on to his positions 1, 2, and 3 after the end of this official qualifying. So we have to wait and see the official results, whether or not we missed anything or whether or not there is going to be any changes specifically. But as you can see from our aerial view, Shukri Yahya still in position 1, Zizan Raza position 2, Ahiruddin position 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 position belongs to Kai Baha, Wani Hasrita, Nabila Razali, Nabil Ahmad, Ain Idrus, and Jana Nick.
Yep, so that's the timings as it stands right now. Officially qualifying has come to close, the last qualifying that the promotional class will ever experience this season. And so far, I mean, it's going to be a lap to the finish here as we await race number 1 tomorrow. But now you can certainly know where all cards lie here. Zizan Raza certainly will be looking to see whether or not he'll be able to beat Shukri Yahya tomorrow, and that's certainly something that you guys at home will be definitely looking forward to this weekend long.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting one indeed. For those of you who just joined us on the live stream, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last official qualifying of the evening for the promotional class. These are the highlights. There are no qualifyings after this. We are going to be closing off the stream after we are all done and dusted with covering all of the official qualifying results. However, the highlights here from promotional class was rather uneventful. We did see some crazy times here. Specifically, I think the biggest highlight we need to note here is Ahiruddin. Her improvements is very steady across the board here. And I do think that if she were to keep up this level of improvement, it's not going to be surprised that we'll be singing the praises of Ahiruddin on the first spots on the podium if she keeps this up.
Indeed, I'll be looking forward to that for sure. So, yep, that is how it stands right now. Very, very clean qualifying here in promotional class. Not really seeing so many of these drivers spilling out on the track too much. In fact, they keep it very nice and tidy all throughout. They certainly have become very, very optimized to their vehicles now. They know exactly what it takes to race here in Sepang International Circuit. And we're all very much going to be looking forward to that race this weekend.
And welcome back to the studio. For those of you guys who just joined us, this is the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Season 5, Round 3. It's happening from the 23rd of September today up until the 25th of September, which is on Sunday. Everything is happening on the evening. Night races all the way, coming to you live from the Sepang International Circuit. All right, this is the Vios Challenge. If you want to catch us, you can catch us on Facebook. That is where you want to be. Drop us a like and follow up with all of the notifications. So, what is the plan for tomorrow, Victor?
I mean, we got racing, that's for sure. Race number 1 for all the classes will be happening. But you know what is also happening? We also have a lot of activities there because off the grid, we're going to have performances during the night as well. So Saturday, 24th of September 2022, we're going to be going live at 6:30 p.m. for our first race of the day, which is going to be on sporting class. And 8 o'clock, we're going to have the super sporting and rookie class race there also for their first race. And 9 o'clock, we will have the promotional class during their first race. But off the grid though, we're going to be having performances here, starting with Wani Hazrita, 7:20 p.m. 7:30, we'll see the TGR Celebrities all take to the stage there to deliver a song performance. And of course, Nabila Razali will be doing a performance right after that. And we'll be closing the night with a TGR concert together with the group K Clique.
All right, now next up, that's not the whole story though. Our third live stream is going to happen on Sunday, 25th of September 2022 at 4:30 p.m. We have an opening ceremony. So for those of you who are in attendance, be prepared to see some crazy stuff happen. We've got some surprises for you guys, you know, who knows what's going to happen. 6:10 p.m. Race 2 is going to be the sporting class. 8 p.m. Super Sporting and Rookies. 9 p.m. is going to be Race 2 for the final race for the promotional class to end our night. But that's just for the races. Activities for each and every one of you guys. Off the grid segment, of course, hosted by our lovely host Naz. 5:35 p.m. We've got a TGR concert with Dollar. We've got 7:30 p.m. With Kai Baha, it's a nice performance. We've got a prize giving ceremony, and at 10:55 we got a TGR concert with Ella, and most importantly, at 11:35 we have a finale concert with the TGR Celebrities. All of them holding hands, singing songs together, just showing lots of camaraderie and putting all of their competitive natures aside.
Yeah, put it all aside for a little performance on stage. But, you know, that's all going to be on the live stream, though. For those of you guys who are going to be dropping by Sabang National Circuit, we've got plenty of activities on ground here for you to enjoy. We've got racing simulators for you to try. We've got arcade games. We've got plenty of food as well for you to enjoy. So make sure you guys don't miss out on that. So make sure to drop by tomorrow and day after for these races here. It's the final race of the season, and we're all looking forward to seeing you guys here at Sepang.
All right, before we sign off for the night, we would like to thank our sponsors, Denso, Modelista, Motis, Toyo Tires, NK, and Drive M7. Special shout out to UMW Toyota Malaysia. Thank you guys very much for a lot of these opportunities for not only the drivers, but all of us here to just do what we love here. And from us at the commentary table, we would like to inform you guys to just come by tomorrow, have a lot of fun. For those of you guys who can't make it tomorrow, check out those live streams, show your favorite celebrities, favorite teams, favorite drivers, your support by dropping whatever necessary hashtags that are relevant towards those that you're supporting. So until then, I guess that's all of it from us here in the studio. He is still Victor. I am still Nick Harris. We will see you tomorrow. Don't you dare be late because you're going to miss all of the action. Till then, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hi, I'm Naz Rahman. In 2017, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival was officially launched in Malaysia with its first Vios one-make race in Batu Kawan. Since then, from Penang to Johor to Kuala Lumpur, the TGR Festival has successfully grown its one-make racing series, the Vios Challenge, from season to season, making a huge presence and bringing significant impact to Malaysian motorsports.
When we first brought the Gazoo Racing brand to Malaysia, no one would have thought that motor racing would be able to spin off so many opportunities. But more importantly, the brand has made a positive and impactful contribution to our society and the sport.
The Gazoo Racing brand has grown exponentially with the introduction of the GR Supra, the GR Yaris and the Malaysian-built GR Sports Vios, a tribute to the Vios Challenge race cars.
Toyota Gazoo Racing globally started with the intention to develop ever better cars and ever better people through motorsports activities. Here in Malaysia, I saw an opportunity for us to push the limit of our product and people. This has elevated the brand image of the Toyota Malaysia into one that is dynamic, sporty, and exciting. For this reason, I got behind the wheel to champion the initiative here in Malaysia through the Vios Challenge. Today, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival has grown into one of the most exciting motorsports events. In 5 years, the Gazoo Racing brand has made an impactful presence in Malaysia, and we intend to continue this pursuit.
This year, we welcome Season 5, and in this season, we shall feature 6 races, with the very first one kicking off in March. New to this year's racing calendar is the Vios Sprint Cup, 2 rounds happening at the Malaysian Championship Series. Gazoo Racing will also further punctuate its presence by participating in the Sepang 1,000km endurance race in November this year.
TGR Season 5 will welcome back our 4 racing classes. The promotional class will feature your favorite Malaysian celebrities. The super sporting class will feature elite and professional drivers, while the sporting class will feature gentlemen and amateur drivers.
And the crowd favorite, ladies and gentlemen, the rookie class, featuring some of the most finest talented drivers Malaysian motorsports has to offer. Gazoo Racing will also continue its Young Talent Development Program to provide young drivers an impactful and affordable platform for them to transition into saloon car racing here in Malaysia. This season, Gazoo Racing will be introducing new GR and GR Sports models and are already underway to expand the Gazoo Racing Garage network nationwide.
It has been exciting to witness what Gazoo Racing Malaysia has accomplished over recent years. The bar has been set very high, and I'm excited to continue this legacy of excellence. I'm thrilled to chart a way forward for Gazoo Racing to continue to make an impactful contribution to Malaysia. With new GR vehicles, the assembly of additional GR Sport vehicles and the expansion of the GR garage engagements through even more GR parts and accessories and new GR merchandises.
Indeed, be prepared for Season 5 Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. It's going to be the biggest racing season yet.
Thank you, racers, teams, and dealers who made it possible to have Gazoo Racing here in Malaysia. Special thanks to our sponsors and business partners for your strong support, your trust, and your belief in the brand throughout this journey. You made this possible.
It has been a huge honor for me to see both the Toyota and the Toyota Gazoo Racing brand evolve. With the foundation that we have firmly put in place, I'm very confident that Gazoo Racing brand will soar to even greater heights in Malaysia. And now, it has come to the end of my journey here in Malaysia. I bid you farewell for now, but never goodbye. Onwards with Season 5, Ganbatte!
We will continue to strive for excellence and bring forth the way through Gazoo Racing. Together, we shall shape a more exciting future. See you at Season 5.
I want Gazoo Racing to grow even more in coming years. See you at Season 5.
It's been an absolute honor to be your host for the past 4 years. Season 5 is definitely going to be a blast. We'll see you online. We'll see you on track. This is Season 5 of Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival, Malaysia.
Have you ever asked yourself, is this it? Is this all I can be? Why hold back when you can do more? Be more than what is expected of you. It's time to move ahead of the rest. Choose your own path. Stand out like never before. Gain the confidence to take on the unexpected. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Discover possibilities beyond your wildest imagination. After all, you are made for more.
Toyota.
Having had the race confined to just racing for the last 2 years without any spectators, I mean, it can be we're a bit nervous as well. Well, it's been great. I think preparation for the race has been full speed ahead since we decided that the race is going to be reopened back to the public to welcome all our spectators and enthusiasts.
During this pandemic, everyone has been suffering, it's very boring to us, no crowd, nothing, Yes, we do race last season, but this season finally it's open, everybody can come and visit, as well as my family, my friends, my fans as well, everything's so exciting.
Families are coming in with their families, they're going on track, they're cheering for their favorite driver, they're going for the meet and greet session. Just the simple fact that there's human interaction makes the event so much fun.
Toyota Gazoo Race is a one-hit race whereby everybody is fair, the car, everything is standards, so it's up to driver skill. Most importantly is we need to have a good crew because it will help you to set up the car. You have tire pressure, as well as the toe-in, toe-out, the suspension setting, damping of the suspension.
We're racing drivers, we're here to win, and no different for me. I think my goal today and this whole weekend will be to grab as maximum points as I can and take back the championship lead.
I've set my standards and expectations quite high on myself. I'm going to do my damn best to try and do.
This is it, man. This is it.
It's fun to see the teams bringing their own fans, cheering the team. Just the atmosphere is different, hearing people drumming. So it brings up, it's not just, that's people. You're being excited about something that we're excited about. So the feeling's mutual, and we're both celebrating what we're doing.
Akan melintasi garis mulut.
So far back on the grid there, stayed out of trouble, and he now comes across the line and brings him to take the win here in the Super Sporting and Rookie
Comes the man with that roaring engine, the number 15 of Toyota Gazoo Racing. Itu dia, Zizan Raza adalah pemenang untuk race yang pertama.